Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
A little disappointed, or more than a little disappointed. I saw the news that David Allen Coe passed away.
Yeah, David Allen Coe. You know, it's funny. One time you said you had me read a rap song. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And he says, sometimes, you know, we have to do a country song.
Yeah.
And the one we never did, but the one I had in my mind was, I think it's called, it's probably not the actual song, but it's my long hair can't cover up my redneck. And that's the one I was going to have you read.
Yeah, by the way, later in life, when I say later in life, in my life, I've only been around for 49 and a half years. I have become a big fan of David Allen Coe's music. In college, when they would play it at the Beta House back in the day, I would run. Give me my anybody, LL Cool J, even back then Puff Daddy. I apologize. Whoever, right? And now I would absolutely pick that over them 100 times out of 100.
He had a very colorful career.
Yeah.
And maybe changed the outlook of his personal philosophies later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And he needed to. But you never call me by your name.
I love that song.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
R.I.P. David.
Whatever wedding you go to or bar in Bryan College Station, you're going to hear that song. So, David Allen Coe, you will be missed, and I hope we hear a lot of his music on the show today. That'd be great.
Let's hope so. Too.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Very well.
I don't know if you noticed. You probably did. Last couple of days, and I think my nose. I'm still a little nasally, but I wasn't my best. Yesterday I felt okay. On Tuesday, I just felt a little sore throat-ish. I was like, is it allergies? Is it a cold? Feeling back to normal. I think the weather is having a little bit of an effect on me.
Yeah, well, you know, this time of year when it might be 90 degrees and clear on one day and rainy and in the late high 60s, low 70s the next day. And,
yeah.
You know, it does mess things. Of course, I didn't recognize it on Tuesday. It wasn't here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. OB, have you heard of the latest draft show that's coming out? A show where you can draft things and, it's sweeping the country.
Okay, what
it's called the CFP Choose Your Destination Draft Bowl. Have you heard about this?
No.
So, moving in 2026, according to Greg Sankey yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum show, the top-ranked team will choose both its quarterfinal and semifinal bowl locations from the New Year's Six Bowls, with the 2 seed selecting from the remaining options. So we are now drafting where we play. Now, by the way, this past year, Indiana as the top seed was able to pick where they wanted to play, so it's not a complete departure. The year prior, they were assigned regionally. But now the 1 seed and the 2 seed get to pick their destinations. It's a draft, baby.
Okay. I don't have an issue with that.
No.
You know, you should have, some rewards and advantages. I still think you should play the same amount of games, but you should have, to me, that would be an example of, hey, you did something that needs to, you earned an advantage, and that's part of it.
Let's play a hypothetical.
Okay.
Because I believe A&M should have been a top 4 seed last year. I understand they lost the last 2 games.
I do too.
But I think they did more than Texas Tech.
Well, I would just say, who did Texas Tech beat?
Right.
A&M beat Notre Dame.
So that's my opinion. I understand we can't go back and fix it.
Who did Texas Tech lose to?
They lost to Oregon early, and then they lost to, who was it? It wasn't TCU. It was somebody bad. Whatever.
I think it was Arizona State.
Arizona State.
And A&M lost to Texas.
Yep.
Which team was ranked?
Correct. There we go.
What was Texas ranked? 6th or 7th?
Somewhere in there. Anyway,
get back to your point.
Let's just pretend A&M would have been the 4 seed. So who were the Cooper? Remind me. The top seeds were Indiana. Who was 2 last year?
Was it not Texas Tech?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Texas Tech was 4.
Texas Tech and Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. So Indiana picked their destination, right? Like I'm just curious. Do you think A&M would have still ended up in that scenario where Texas Tech ended up the Cotton Bowl? You think A&M would have ended up regionally anyway?
I know that's where they'd want. You know, if they got the draft. If they had their druthers.
What was it? Georgia. I should have Googled this before I started. Georgia had the. Did they have the Orange Bowl? We're doing a lot of Googling on the show, which we're not supposed to be doing. I know Orange Bowl was an option. I do know that. So regardless, I still think A&M or Texas Tech, whoever would have been there.
Sugar Bowl.
Oh, of course. Would have ended up at the Cotton Bowl in that scenario.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, in that scenario, I think A&M would always pick the Cotton Bowl right there in 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So what's next now? Choose your opponent? I feel like the draft show phenomenon is a thing now, right? All right, I'm going to select, I think I like our matchup against, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
You don't think Indiana, under that scenario, would have, again, it's hard to, in the 16-team playoff would be a lot easier to do this because the 12-team, you're waiting on the winner of the first round for these top 4 seeds. And, by the way, was Indiana the only top seed that won their first game last year? Am I right about that? They were the only one because all the other top seeds lost their game.
See, to me, that might be an indication that if you do have that there may be an advantage to playing early. I don't know. Maybe it's just bad seeding.
I think it's only Indiana in the past 2 years have won their game being in top seed. Last year the teams were 0-4.
Because Ohio State lost, Georgia lost, Texas Tech lost. Indiana was the only team that won. And that's 2 years in a row of this college football playoff format that has happened.
But I'm asking you, how much time between games did those top-ranked teams have to wait?
It's probably about a month. It's a long time.
So, once again, here's another reason to argue for playing at least, to expand the field to 16.
Yeah, and A&M played, 2 weeks after the Texas game?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. But Miami also had just played.
Right.
So, one team, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying that's quicker. Like waiting a month can be really good for your bodies if you have hurt people, but for your sharpness, I've never liked that about the bowl season.
Right. Well, that's one of the reasons way back in the day when they voted, the UPI would have their they would crown a national champion after the season, immediately after the regular season, because the thought was, if you wait, the bowl game was just a reward. Sometimes, if you wait a month, are you necessarily the same team? I mean, you got the same personnel, but you get, like you just said, there may be some rust. Might take some time to get back. I don't know. It's a theory. They're all just theories.
Everything is a theory at this point. So, but, they are tinkering so much with it. And another thing, and I don't think I have it here, but we'll get to it during the show. Greg Sankey does say that they need to investigate more they're just getting acclimated to the 12-team playoff. They need to investigate 16/24 more before they make any moves. Like there needs to be more of a study done.
Well, if you go to 24, the same discussion we're having about one team waiting longer to play than the other team still exists.
Right.
I think they should go to 16.
But they're going to go to 24. But they may go to 16 in between.
They may go to 16, then 24, and then ultimately 32.
Yeah. And then who gets to pick do all the top seeds get to pick their draft, their first game? Or I guess the first games would all be on campus in that world.
Yeah, I think and I think this way it should be. Probably in the first two.
Yeah.
But no one's asked me yet.
Well, it sounds great in theory to go, but if your team is going to have a long run, not everybody's got the money to go from the Orange Bowl to the Rose Bowl.
That's why they should play the first two games on the campus of the higher ranked team.
Yeah.
The higher seeded team.
OB, this is TexAgs Live.
It is. And you know what?
I think I know what.
It's brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Gem of a guy.
He is.
Yeah. In the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Jason, Jackson, Keith, and Morgan, and the family.
The boys, the girls, the nephews.
All of them.
The nieces.
Yeah.
And this hour has a name. We call it the Go Hour, presented by the who?
By the Warehouse, CC Creations.
Working on getting us some Savannah Banana shirts here. Hopefully maybe tomorrow. Super tight.
Well, people are really excited about this.
They are.
Yeah.
95,000 expected. Doesn't matter if it's a torrential downpour. Everybody in Texas is coming.
Wow. I didn't know that they were that big a draw. I mean, I knew they
were a big draw, but that, like 95,000?
Gosh, that surprised
How many did George Strait have? 114? Yeah. Almost George Strait numbers.
Almost. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, working on getting us some shirts for that. And let's see, we're hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Right here, the classic. Nothing's cooler than making money, investing money,
and
saving money so you can spend money.
Right. Exactly right. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call us up on the
Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
979-693-1150. I do crave some Buppies at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he took real good care of us last football season.
Yeah.
Man, we ate well.
Yeah, we did. And if you want to text the show, you can text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. That number is OB.
Same number, 979-693-1150.
We go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass. We say hi to Nick Savage, our director. Hey, Nick.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Hey, I know, we're used to seeing crowd noise being pumped in to like football practices, right? Well, tell me, is this the first time y'all ever seen or heard, I guess, the Ball 6 chant being pumped into Auburn's practice? This was taken yesterday from Twitter. And they're pumping in the Ball 6 chant for
Here's
this
the
kid
thing.
throwing. So
This
that tells you everything you need to know about Olson Field.
Well, my opinion of the situation is I think Ball 6 chant and whatever, like, to me, is based on your failures, right? So you can chant in this all you want. If you're not going through adversity, it won't affect you the same way as you just walk two dudes in a row, bases are now loaded, and that starts happening, then it becomes more mental. Like, now you're actually connecting with what's saying. So you can, loud sucks, right? But loud when you're failing and they're talking about you sucks even more.
It seems to me that they're expecting to
Walk
face
a lot of people. Yeah.
Ball 6 a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, did you, by the way, you see that? I'm sure you did. That Mississippi State's kind of ripping that off.
I did see that, yeah. Look, people like to steal things from A&M.
I've always said it. A&M's a trendsetter.
They are. Yeah. People like to steal our things.
The Seahawks with the 12th man.
Yeah. I'm still bitter about that.
Well, they end up paying, I think, a fee.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
This
trendsetter.
is the home of the 12th man. I love when my mic cuts out. It upsets Nick. All right, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Cooper Patterson, hold on. We got to talk. First off, is that a Jalen Green shirt?
Min Thompson.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because he's no longer with the Rockets.
No, he's not, unfortunately.
Cooper Patterson, one of the few who have been able to intern with us on multiple occasions, right? And today's his last day. And I've seen this young man grow up into a star, and now he's leaving the industry.
As he moves forward, if he's successful in his career, as he is in Papa Shot, he may be the next Elon Musk.
Well, the only downside to his internship is he spent more time on Papa Shot than working on the show. What's your record on Papa Shot? 120 or something?
174.
174?
Next closest is 143.
Who was that by?
Richard.
Huh. Okay, if you were to guess, how many times have you played Papa Shot at TexAgs?
Richard's played more than me, so I'll start
Well, he's a
with that.
full-time employee. That happens, yeah. I'm glad he's doing that.
I've probably worked we probably worked a similar number of hours this semester because of my internship. I had to work a lot. I probably played that thing over 200 times, maybe close to that number.
If I played it 200 times, I don't think I could get to 100 points.
No, I know I could.
How many times have you played it?
Well, I don't play it the way, what I do is when we get off the show, the way I start my day after the show is I go in there and I shoot 100 times to see how many I can make.
What's been your best number?
So far, my best number has been 75.
Holy smokes. Yeah. Am I the only one who has yet to play that's like part of the content team?
That's probably true.
Yeah. You know why I don't play OB, right?
No.
I play defense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a specialized player. Like, I'm Dennis Rodman. I'm not taking shots. I'm going to D you down.
Richard just texted me breaking news. He's texting me that he got 148, not 147.
Okay. Richard saying congratulations on your 148. Cooper, though, you've done a wonderful job. We were happy to get you back, and you've even exceeded our expectations from the first time around. So thank you, buddy. What do you have for us?
So let's go to look at some women's sports. We're Kay Nagley's realm.
Yep.
Number 12, Texas A&M softball will close their regular season tonight against number 1 ranked OU. So in this game, you need to look out for OU's standout freshman, Kendall Wells. She leads the nation in home runs at 36. She's already broken the freshman single-season home run record, and she's 1 home run away from tying the single-season record among all players. So can the Aggies look to keep her from breaking that record? I think that'd be awesome for her not to break the record because of us.
OB, I don't follow softball the way Kay does. I follow the Aggies, right? But I think Kay's got a. But I do know one thing. In most sports, a brand can kind of tell you all you need to know about who you're playing, right? Like during the Nick Saban era, you knew what kind of Alabama team you were going to get.
Yeah.
Oklahoma softball, you can tell me these names. It doesn't matter. It's wallpaper to me. They're all going to be good. That's who they've been.
Oklahoma softball is, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they've been more dominant and successful in their sport than Nick Saban in Alabama was in football.
That's pretty amazing. I gave you if you can look on the rundown.
They're more like John Wooden at UCLA.
The Wizard.
I think. Haven't Oklahoma in softball just won an insane amount of national championships?
I can't pretend I paid attention to softball before I started interning here in the spring.
Well, you can pretend to Google.
Yeah, I think they've won just like I said, that like Wooden-esque success.
How many did Wooden win?
I think he won like 10, 9 or 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
They had a long streak, and that streak was interrupted by who?
Yeah, they've won.
Who was it?
2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024.
They've won 8 overall.
8 overall.
Okay, there we go. Hey, give me some news on Maya Perez. It's on the rundown.
Maya!
I got to find this. I got to scroll.
It's on the rundown.
There it is.
There we go.
She was named the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year, top 25 finalist. She recorded 56 hits this season, with 48% going for extra bases, including 17 home runs and 10 doubles. She owns a 1.572 OPS and has struck out in just 5.7 of her 192 plate appearances. She gets on base.
And here's another thing I'm reading on. Against ranked opponents in 22 games against top 25 teams, she is 7 home runs, 5 doubles, 22 RBI, 10 runs scored, and has walked 15 times.
I think if I was Pacer, I'd make sure that walking stat increased.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just put her on.
Sometimes we wonder why they pitched to her. Anyway, let's hit a break. Got a little football topic for you on the other side. Nick Savage is going to debut a thought, and then we got Stephen McGee.
Yeah, it's going to be a good. It's good. It's Thursday. Good Thursday.
Obi, look, I'm in a good mood today.
Yeah. Oh,
but I don't.
Another reason to feel good about Thursday.
Yeah, and I don't want to like do little jokes and like so Luke can come up with some gimmicks. I just want to tell people the facts.
Facts.
All right, give me the brass tacks or the facts. Sorry, when it comes to 1775, just the facts.
The facts are that 1775 has not just good, spectacular.
That's right.
Texas barbecue. Texas barbecue is the best barbecue in the world.
It is the Oklahoma softball of the barbecue. Hopefully the Aggie softball this weekend.
Well, more like it's very Wooden-esque.
Yeah.
Because it's smoked wood. Yeah. Everything. So, but and that succulent brisket, that's spectacular.
Yeah.
The amazing pork ribs.
I'm like your hype man. I just say yeah to everything you say.
It's you're not hyping me. It's hyping 1775 because the turkey, the jalapeno cheese sausage, even the pulled pork, if that's your thing. the queso mac and cheese. They don't have it. That's what we call it. And then the desserts, if you feel so inclined.
Yeah.
The desserts are excellent.
The desserts, everything at
No
17.
joke.
No joke.
Just
See?
fact.
Just the straight
Factoids.
facts, right?
Just factoids.
Check out the website to learn more, 1775txbbq.com, or call them up, 979-492-6241. OB, it is 1775.
It's wooden-esque.
As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza. And, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Our director, Nick Savage, has a question to ask us.
Okay.
Nick, what are you thinking about, buddy?
Well, I like how you framed it in that first segment. You framed it like, oh, he had his first thought. So, but
Is that what I said?
Yeah, no. But I was just thinking yesterday, and we kind of talked about it off air. I want to know, and this is, an off-season talking point, what player or which of these players, I'll throw y'all a few names, do you think takes the biggest step into the spotlight in 2026? So these are kind of role players last season, but with some key departures, I feel like these guys might become household names across the country, kind of like we saw maybe Mario Craver or, Le'Veon Moss was, but before he got hurt. So first one I'll throw at you, Marco Jones. Do you think he steps into a bigger role? Is he a player that people are talking about around the country this next season?
I think so. So I saw the three names. Nick, can you just let Obi kind of chew on the three names, and then we can kind of go back and forth?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got Marco Jones, Ruben Owens, and Ashton Bethel-Roman.
So,
and I think, and I can throw a few more at y'all if you want after those.
And from those three, if I were to guess who would take the biggest step when it comes to spotlight, OB, I would say Ruben Owens.
Okay.
And my reasoning for it is he's going to be the lead back, and I know it's a crowded backfield, but those other positions are also crowded. So, for instance, I could see Marco Jones having the biggest upside of those three. Ashton Bethel-Roman is going to share a lot of receptions with, I think he's going to make a name for himself because he's a highlight machine, right? But when you've got, Mario Craver, you've got Horton, you've got Aaron Gregory, you've got all these other guys, right? I think he's going to get probably more looks than he had a year ago, but I don't think he becomes the alpha of that group. Of the three people listed there, I think Ruben Owens, as the lead back all season long, and some of the size he's put on, has the opportunity to become Le'Veon Moss-esque. Although Jamario Morrow, to me, like that, it's close, right? So, but just from those three, I would say Marco Jones has the biggest upside next year. But I think the consistency of being the lead guy is Ruben Owens.
That's a very, very astute way to approach that answer. Makes a lot of sense. I think he was pretty good last year.
Ruben Owens, yeah.
So his next step goes from good to very good, and then hopefully to great. We use the word great too much.
Yep.
So I thought last year he was good. You say, what do you think about? Oh, he's good. That next step is to be very good, and then hopefully even great. But so much of Ruben Owens' success is dependent on five guys in front of him.
This is true.
Now, Ashton Bethel-Roman, I talk about a guy that was good, and the next step is being very good. And I think you could argue that he made that step last year because in the second half of the season. But again, how many passes is he going to catch? 40? I'd just about take that now. I think my answer would be Marco Jones because I think he has more ground to cover.
Yeah.
So if he steps up, there's so much potential there. And now he's probably going to be sharing a lot of time at that jack or whatever you want to call it, that rush end with Anto Saka. But maybe I'm sure they're going to come up with ways to have them both on.
Sure.
And
he, to me, is, if he reaches his potential, is a first-round pick.
He's a first-round pick, yes. If he reaches his potential, his full potential, he's A&M's next great pass rusher.
Yep.
Maybe not this year, but before he leaves.
Right.
But if we believe that, I would say to you, of the three, who do you think has the greatest potential to be eventually a first-round draft choice?
Marco Jones.
So Marco Jones is going to be my answer.
Yeah. But next year, impact.
Next year,
Next year, impact, I think Ruben Owens just because he's going to be the lead back, right? And I will tell you, this is just coincidence, Nick. I knew you were going to ask this question, but I was reading on ESPN this morning, and ESPN has their article out, and let's see how they phrased it. Their article is 2026 College Football Top 25 Under-the-Radar Players for each team. And ESPN says that Reuben Owens is the under-the-radar guy. Owens wasn't just under the radar as a recruit. I don't think he was under the radar as a recruit, but
he was the first or second rated running back in the country.
Yeah, it says wasn't under the radar as a recruit.
Okay.
So yeah, but becoming one of the most covered prospects in the 23 class, he has yet to reach his full potential during his career at A&M because of injuries and playing behind Le'Veon Moss. Mm-hmm. All true.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back to what we thought of Reuben Owens.
Oh, I'm a big Reuben Owens fan.
I know you are, yeah. But, like, we looked at him as, like, kind of the upside when we talk about Marco Jones. So if this year he does take that step.
Well, here's the thing about, we've talked about this. Here's what Reuben Owens has to be. Reuben Owens has to be the guy. What he needs some Le'Veon Moss characteristics and becoming that guy that
run through a full?
On fourth and 1, you can give it to him and feel really good that he's going to pick it up.
Yep.
To pick up the hard rush yards because we've seen him with the long run.
Right.
We know he's explosive.
Yep.
He needs to be able to run with more power. You just said that he's gotten bigger and stronger.
Yep.
Right. And he needs to break some tackles.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. You say Reuben Owens, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say I think he's closer to being elite than any of the other three guys we talked about.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. Stephen McGee, I saw him in his car before the segment started, so he is here. We're talking Rollo Insurance, and they are my insurance provider. They should be yours. They're headquartered right here on Highway 6 in College Station. And when the unexpected happens, whether it's a car accident or property damage or business liability, preparation matters, and that's why you need to link up with the good people at Rollo Insurance. They ensure that you're properly covered before crisis does strike. Their independent agents provide a consultation across all insurance types, giving you confidence that the details are handled correctly. They have 60 offices statewide. Expert help is always nearby. Don't wait until disaster strikes to discover the gaps into your coverage. Visit RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs. That's RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. And we're back. Hey, everybody, TexAgs Live. What does a brother got to do to get some David Allen Co. here? But that's Mick Jagger for OB.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both.
Big fan of Mick Jagger. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's great, but I don't think he's as cool as OB thinks.
Oh.
But we don't need to go in that.
If we had time, I could make the case. And
do you remember, like, year one, our argument, who was more cool? Justin Timberlake or Mick Jagger? At that time, Mick Jagger.
We have had some really weird debates.
At that
for
time,
a sports talk
radio
show, we've debated things from Bad Bunny to Mick Jagger to I don't know what else.
What else?
Workouts.
Steven, who would you pick as a cooler?
Can you run 4 miles around? No, how many miles is it? 12 miles around campus, eat 24 tacos and a case of beer.
Oh, yeah.
I can do that.
What's your price tag? Remember we did that? That was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Still unfinished, right? By the way, like, did Pastor Dad give you permission to do that?
He said no.
He said no?
He's watching right now. He said no.
Okay.
He's watching right now, and he's already replied that
Did
quickly.
he say
No.
Can we ask again?
I did ask him. He said no.
My Pastor Dad said, ha ha. Thus gave us the
Pastor
I
Dad
thought it
/ talk show host.
I thought he said, how much you going to get? Because, I get the tithe.
Yeah. Say, Dad, just remember I'm going to tithe my 10 off the top.
He gets 10% of all those things.
Yeah, so he gets a beer. He gets a beer or a couple beers, and he also gets $20.
No, I'm thinking the tithe would be what you're paying him to Cooper to do that.
Yeah.
Now, if you got it up to $10,000, and Dad's saying, "Hey, it's $1,000 in the offering plate," maybe I'll let him do that.
Yeah.
Especially if he's one of those like righteous gemstones preachers.
I've never watched that show, but I know I would love it because I love that dude.
Yeah.
Danny McBride. I think he's the best.
Danny McBride is always a hit.
Yeah, I don't care if he's the same character in every show. It's fantastic.
I tell Coach Earley every time, of course, when he walks in here, he's probably so tired of hearing me. Like, dude, I got one pitch for you. It's going to be Kenny Powers energy off the mound.
I try to get my sons to watch it with me.
Yeah.
He's pounding down?
Yeah. One episode, they're like, it's like, you got
to stay with it.
Yeah, you got to.
You do.
Yeah.
That show.
It has great scenes. Like when you see flashbacks on your social media of Kenny Powers at Ashton Schaefer BMW. Woo! Kenny Powers is in my showroom. Woo! Can you feel the tension in the air? I know I can. I can feel it down my plums, getting all swole with a purpley hue.
It sounds like you watched that more than once.
I love that scene, man.
How do you guys remember lines so well?
I was thinking a couple $1,000 coming here and sign autographs. Like, I got $100.
Yeah. You got a preacher, Dad. How much what do you need for you to put the offer plans? A couple thousand.
I would show us some cash for Kenny Powers autograph in my showroom.
I'm sure Cooper's dad would love to hear this topic. The Brendan Sorsby situation. I'm sure Cooper's a big part of the gambling community.
What a nightmare, right? For Texas Tech and their program. And he's a heck of a player. It's a shame to see it go down like that. He could spin it, man. That guy.
You talking about the roulette wheel?
You silly dude. Yeah, I did. I mean,
always bet on the red.
Look, Kalshi, we laugh all the time. Polymark, but especially Kalshi, I feel like in the sports betting world, it's so easy now to bet on sports. And of course, they don't claim it's gambling, but it very much is.
What is it?
Kalshi.
I'm not familiar with this.
It's
Is it?
No way.
What's it called?
You're kidding me.
Is it like Price Picks?
It's a.
I really don't know.
What's the word they use? It's
a
a fan market where instead of like betting against the house,
it's outcome based.
It's a completely
so yes, no contracts, but it's 100% gambling. But it provides for real time live betting. It's super addicting. It's fun. It creates.
You know me. I'm no fun Nuño. I don't know this stuff.
Yes. Well, you probably should know this.
OB, you know it?
I really don't. Could this be the end of his career?
Could
the death of his career?
College.
So we're saying that
definitely college.
So this is the wagers of death. I figure you're,
we had
the wagers of sin is the death.
We had John Harris on the show yesterday.
It's for you, Cooper's dad.
John was like, no, I think he could still play in the pros. Like if a GM thinks he's a quarterback in the NFL, he'll be back.
Look, if he would have come out this year, he's probably the number 3 quarterback off the board.
Yeah.
Man, gambling, that's the one thing that
it seems like sports doesn't forgive.
That's kind of, radioactive.
Yeah. And
are we more forgiving in today's culture, though, for that? Well, not if they can prove he did it to his team.
He bet on for his team, right?
Right. When he wasn't playing.
It was the whole Pete Rose dilemma.
Right. But Pete was playing.
Or it's the
managing
special forces guy that just bet on them winning, taking out Maduro. That's Polymarket is the same thing as Cauchy, by the way. Y'all have heard of this, right?
Cal what?
Cauchy.
Oh.
I've seen Cauchy written.
What is going on?
And I just
wait a minute. You know these people are betting on these outcomes, and so there's like this special forces guy bet hours before the invasion to take out Maduro. He bet like 20 grand, won 400 grand.
That's fantastic.
It's the same thing.
Is he in trouble?
Trading, but if you're a politician, it's okay.
Well, of course, politicians insider trade all the time. They profit and make millions and billions. It's okay.
Yeah.
But a soldier that bets on his own team to ousted this guy, which, again, there was no rules.
If I'm on that jury, he's walking, by the way.
100%.
But as far as the Texas Tech guy, you know.
It's been very clear. They make it very known not bet on sports.
Yes, they do that. They do.
I mean.
But, you know,
it's
he's a college kid. I'm not going to.
Hold his life, but the penalty's got to be extreme because if you don't, then it allows these guys to bet on their sports. Not only, it's not just the outcome of the game, they can bet on stats.
Right. Hey, coach, let's run this play. Come on. It's going to work. And try to get a certain stat.
Yeah. You can call an audible. McGee would.
I would. 100% I would.
I mean, he'd give you $3
sure
grand.
We're going to win. Hey, we weren't going to win the game, but you did right. We were going to get our stat to get our cash.
But I think Sorsby is one of many.
There's no doubt.
And there's other when I say one of many high-profile guys.
Yes, and to me, it's more prevalent not on the outcome of the game, where they're trying to throw it like the old school documentaries you've seen. I think now it's more about these little stat things. And I think that's why you've seen a hard push by the NCAA and Major League Baseball and all these to say, hey, we don't want you to have the fantasy element of betting, right? That allows a player to get a specific play or stat and cash. That's where it gets really scary because these players can
Remember
more
Rick
easily do that.
Neuheisel got fired for playing betting on the NCAA basketball tournament? Wasn't even his sport.
Yeah.
They were taken aback by how much money was involved in it, but it was still.
Yeah.
So, it'd be really interesting to see which way this.
Okay, but how about NBA teams that throw their season to get a lottery pick? It's proven statistically, and they show it.
Yep.
Yeah, but are they actually? And they shouldn't be doing that, but they can't really stop it. But they're not betting on to make money individually.
They're betting.
No, but they're throwing the game in the exact same way that somebody is putting out.
As long as they're not profiting,
100% they're profiting.
The player,
the Mavericks are profiting whenever Cooper
the team is, but the individual players who would be the ones actually throwing the game is not.
But I'm saying
that's
that's from an owner's mandate perspective. The team, the owner profits from this throwing of the game.
Yep.
Right, and so he puts a mandate that says, "Hey, head coach, you're not going to play your starters." He didn't bet on it per se, but he kind of did indirectly, right? I mean, he's betting that his team's not going to win, so you can cash. You get what I'm getting? I mean, it's the same kind of different.
No,
it's a jacked up situation. I mean, it's so prevalent. It's so easy to bet now through apps like Cauchy and everything. It's legal in all 50 states. There's a lot of states that are suing Cauchy, right? So it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
You know what I think? No one is going to convince me otherwise. Remember when Eli Drinkwitz kicked the field goal at the end of it, and they covered?
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot
investigate him.
And you know what? If he did that,
yes.
So the people who bet on him would win.
Give him a raise.
I'm completely for it. If I was a coach, I would know the
line.
My coach should know the line. And I'm not talking about Formby and those guys. I'm talking about the betting line. And if I have a chance because I know my guys are betting on me, and if I have a chance to make sure that we cover, so all those guys will make a lot of money, so then they will contribute more.
UTSA game versus A&M this year. Backdoor cover, backup quarterback comes in for UTSA, throws a touchdown. We're playing this soft sit-back coverage. Yeah.
My fans, I got 100,000 fans in there, and probably half of them is bet on me.
I guarantee
the more money they make, the more money they contribute.
Or they bet against you only because they consider it a victory tax, right? It's the happiness hedge where they're saying, inevitably, if I bet against A&M will win.
If they're bet against me, the hell with them.
Hey, so
we're taking this someplace David never
you've never heard of there. It's good dialogue. I have a question. Not that I expect you guys to know all these rosters, but of potential playoff teams, because I have one in mind. Is there a team that could withstand losing their starting quarterback for whatever reason? Texas Tech is losing it for gambling, and I'm going to give you who my idea is. I think it's Oregon. That got they got Dylan Raiola
for now.
For now, well, but there's no portal for him to leave.
I know they're trying to work something out to get him to Texas Tech,
but there's no portal for him to leave.
I know, but they're still trying to make it.
Is that real or is that just
no? I think it's real. I think they're really trying. And when you got a billionaire trying to get him there, I don't know if things happen. What if he just said, "Yeah, I'll come to Texas Tech. I'm going to leave Oregon. I'm going to enroll at Texas Tech, and I don't need a scholarship. I'm going to be a walk-on." Are they going to be able to say, "No, you can't do that"?
Is that legal? Can a player
walk-ons walk on all the time?
Yeah, but
hence the name.
If you are a scholarship athlete at a school, can you legally leave right now and join another football team and be eligible? Walk-on or scholarship?
I bet you can. I bet a talented lawyer can challenge that and win.
Yeah. Let's hit a break. Ground shuttle time. They offer frequent and reliable shuttles from BCS to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. So when you're heading out to Bush, you know how chaotic it can be. The parking, the traffic to get there, the times, all the madness that happens when you go to George Bush. So have the good folks at Ground Shuttle take you there. They got 9 shuttle times on the weekdays every hour and a half and 5 shuttle times on the weekends every 2.5 hours. And they also have charter service, and you can book any of their vehicles to accommodate your group size anywhere in Texas. This is the way to go when it comes to getting around town and also getting to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Check out the website, groundshuttle.com, or call them up, 855-303-4415. It's Ground Shuttle. Let them do the driving. Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites, while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. You don't know my name. David Allen Co.
Yeah, we need to work that out.
We need to figure that
It's time for Buy, Sell, Hold, brought to you by
Maybe we just have
Aggie
an external speaker.
Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. I almost feel like we should continue that dialogue we're having about the most cool people at the break of Buy, Sell, Hold. But here's what I have for you. Who's going to have the most success in year one as a coach at a new program? Lane Kiffin at LSU, James Franklin at Virginia Tech, or Kyle Whittingham at Michigan?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm definitely selling James Franklin.
He's in the ACC.
I know. I've never been a fan of his. I'm still selling it.
He won at Vanderbilt.
Thanks for whispering, Dave.
I don't know.
I appreciate you conveying your message softly with your inside voice. Golly, I want to buy Lane Kiffin at LSU. It's inevitable he's going to have success. The question is it going to be the typical Lane Kiffin success, which is the historic 9-3, 10-2 every year, but never win a championship?
Let me give you their schedule real quick. I'll just run through James Franklin. At VMI, Old Dominion, at Maryland, Boston College, Pitt, at Cal, Georgia Tech, at Clemson. That guy's going 10-2 next year.
Yeah, but that's also a team that played that same roster last year and went what?
Yeah, but James Franklin brought in some people.
Right. I'm gonna buy James Franklin. I am going to hold
Miss Jagger.
Yeah, I'm going to hold Lane Kiffin, and I am going to sell Kyle Whittingham.
Well, you don't like him?
No, I love Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah,
but he's got. Let me tell you who he's got on his schedule: Oklahoma.
Kyle Whittingham does?
Yep, he's got Oklahoma early on, and the rest of it's not that bad. UTEP, Iowa, Minnesota, Penn State, and Indiana. And then LSU's got an SEC schedule.
LSU's going to be a gauntlet. That's definitely going to be the hardest schedule, inevitably.
Clemson, La Tech, at Ole Miss. We've got Texas A&M, McNeese, at Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn.
I like what Kyle Whittingham does. I think he gets production out of his quarterback, whoever it is. They're
Why are
young
they playing the song?
Just to let us know that it's almost time for a break.
Are we over?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe next time we won't do Ashley Schaefer. No, we need to do more Ashley Schaefer next time.
Ashton Schaefer.
Sorry. Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Ashton Schaefer.
That's my guy.
In my dealership, in my showroom. Woo! Yeah, I am. Woo! You sure are. Woo! Yeah, I'm here. Woo!
Hey, Opie, who's more cool? Riley Green or Mick Jagger?
Oh, Mick Jagger.
Woo! Tough take with the modern crowd. I say they're going to reject that.
But the modern crowd is listening right now, or is it the...
Oh, yeah, modern crowd. They don't even know what radio is.
Mick Jagger was a bad guy. Yeah. He was a bad guy at a time when you were supposed to wear suits to in a band. He was a rebel. He was a rebel.
We got to drop it right here. We'll be back with Michael Earley and Richard Zane on TexAgs Live. And we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. A little Aggie baseball talk before the Auburn series. Richard Zane in studio with me and the head coach of the Aggie baseball team, Michael Earley. Coach Earley, hello, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, good. Obviously, I want to talk about this Auburn series coming up, but there's something that's more than the standings this upcoming weekend. You have a personal connection with the Massey family. They have their DMG campaign launching at Bluebell. Can you just talk a little bit about what Mark meant to your family and all the initiatives they're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, so this will be official launch of the foundation, Mark Massey Legacy Foundation. The Strikeout DMG campaign will start this weekend. It'll be something that'll be synonymous with Aggie baseball moving forward. But yeah, Mark was a good friend of my son, classmate. Hit close to home, and we become good friends with Brian and Allie, who are both former Aggies. And yeah, it's just it's DMG is a brain cancer there's no cure for, and they really, they've chosen they want to help other kids and stop this in the future so other parents don't have to go through it. And just amazing people, an amazing cause, and something that I'm like super proud to be a part of and want to work really hard to help raise this awareness. And they've just done a phenomenal job of getting this thing kicked off. And just really excited to be a part of it.
Friday will be an important night for the Massey family at the ballpark. Knock on wood, weather permitting, but beyond that, whether you're in the ballpark or away, how can fans get involved with the Massey Foundation?
Yeah, so there'll be many different ways. We're trying to raise money for awareness and research, and many different ways to give. And there will be stuff on the scoreboard or stuff they pass out, so you're able to do that. So just something I think is just super important, right? If we can, anyone has been affected by cancer in one way or another, right? It's just how it is. And if we can help other kids and families not have to go through that, I think that's the goal of this for them. So it's going to be something that's really special to them and special to a lot of people.
By the way, Brian will be in studio at 10 o'clock. So we'll talk to
Brian's an awesome dude, man. He'll be able to probably give you way more. He probably answer way more questions, have way more information. He's a really sharp guy and just very passionate about what he's doing.
Looking forward to talking to him. Coach, you're 34-8, 5 straight series wins. Done great in the midweeks, 9 of 10. Another top 10 showdown at home. Just life in the SEC, I guess.
They all. I don't know the rankings. That's real. That's true. That's not coach speak. They all feel like it to me. So it's you go anytime you travel to Florida or Baton Rouge or you have anyone in the SEC coming in, it feels the same because I truly, truly believe that the separation and talent is not a lot by any single team in the league and anyone. It's about who plays the best on that day. So it'd be cool for, I do like the part of that, like for the fans and like, because we want you out there. We need you out there. Like that last environment we had here, like, let's do that. It definitely helps us. So yeah, all the external hype you guys want to create around here to drive people to the ballpark, which they come anyway, but we'll take it because we love having that backing when we're out there playing.
You talk about not knowing the rankings or the standings or any of that. When you talk about the players and the guys who are actually suiting up and playing the game, how have they been able to stay locked in? Because I'm sure they're aware of what they're doing, but this weekend is just as big as last weekend, was just as big as the week before, and that I know David said that's life in the SEC, but you really have to embrace the monotony and the routine of everything, right?
Well, that's a big thing of what we are. We're a very monotonous program and very routine oriented, and the language of our program has been consistent since day one. So we don't, we're not trying to grab sayings or motivational speeches or this, that. No, it's been the same. So, and we still attack it the same. And I think that right there kind of keeps things clear, right? I can't control, what they read on Twitter, Instagram, or all this stuff. But what we can control is our internal messaging and the consistency of it and the monotony. Love that word. Because that's what you have to do. You have to embrace, as hitters always say, you got to embrace the monotony of being a good hitter. Baseball is just like this, and you have to stay the course. So if you stay the course in your work, I got to believe you stay the course in your head and you take things day by day.
Tuesday night, you guys trailed twice. I think you said that you didn't play clean baseball, but the team finds a way to be resilient often. When did you notice that resiliency in this program?
I just think early on. I mean, I thought we set a really good foundation, and it started with the players on the team buying into it, especially the older guys, of just like if you want to talk about what we want to do this year, it's like we want to do the common things and commonly well. What's that mean? Do everything right. It's real easy to take the common way, do stuff the easy way, be uncommon. And the other one is like you win or you lose. Period. There's no excuse. There's no wind. There's no injury. There's no nothing. It's just black and white. And those guys were all into that from day one. And it's all because like they've been good. Like it is, coaching baseball is super fun, right? It can be, not all the time. I promise you that. But like being around some of these guys, it's just like they're good dudes and they work hard and they really, really care. So care factor through the roof. That's always been like that since I've been here, wins or losses, no doubt. But I think execution and playing good baseball has been at a high level, and you mix those together, I think you got a pretty good group of guys.
I guess maybe the poster child for doing things right and being better than good is Gavin Grahovac now, 17-game hit streak. What allows him to remain so consistent and be so consistently good and find his stride and start playing at his best the most important time of the year?
Yeah, I think just touch on Gavin and how impressive it is for him to be doing what he's doing after missing a season and having surgery. I don't think this is uncommon. This is the definition of uncommon of what he's doing. And because that's how he is, right? He's worked super hard and he's having a junior season with what you think he would have after a sophomore season after he was freshman of the year, but he didn't have it. I think what allows him to do it is he's been consistent, and he's been leading our team, and he's been consistent throughout the year in everything he does, and he's been playing an awesome first base, which can't be overshadowed. So I just think he works really hard. He's ultra talented. Like you saw it from day one he got here, right? And you're seeing 3 years, 2 years basically, but stronger, more mature. And I really do believe him sitting and watching baseball last year helped him mentally. And I think now mentally he's even better. And yeah, he's just doing a really good job, and we need him to keep it up.
Another uncommon guy, Caden Sorrell, who had went 1 for 14 in the Florida series, comes back to a couple of home runs. He's got 20. We're talking about a guy with 20 home runs that maybe had a rough weekend, but he's also a guy that when we talk about the grit, he's shown it all year.
Yeah, Caden, he's, every hitter's mindset's different, right? And everyone handles stuff a different way, but he doesn't have, when he does bad, he doesn't lose belief in himself, which is huge. Like, yeah, you're going to have tough weekends, right? And he hit some balls on the screws that weekend, but he also swung at some pitches he shouldn't have. He's really good. I'm glad he got to, as hitters, there's always these milestones
Yeah.
Now he's at 20. Like, I didn't want him sitting on 19 worrying about hitting 20 because I'm sure that's something he wanted. So if the next problem we have is 30, then I think we're in a good situation. But just an elite player, elite confidence, and, a guy that's also been a leader of this team, but he just kind of does it in a different way.
He's so even keel too. Like even when we talk to him after a 2 home run night, like it's just so like right here, never too high, never too low. But what can a night like Tuesday against Tarleton allow him to do once you get back into conference play this weekend?
Yeah, just, there's a confidence of guys who drive the ball out of the park, like they need to see the ball go out of the park. It just is something that sparks it. And I think it was good. He's kind of pulling off balls against Florida, like you could see it. And the first home run he hits that night is an opposite field shot on a changeup left up. Balls that on the weekend he wasn't missing a changeup up, but he was hooking it foul or hooking it on the ground. And that just showed, the ability to stay through it. And then the 95 on the inner half that he turns on and hits onto maybe Welborn Road, like that'd make anyone feel good. So he hit a pitch oppo that he'd been hooking, and then he hit a pitch pull side that he'd been missing. So I mean, for sure it helped his confidence. And his at bat when he struck out, like he did some things at bat were really good. He just kind of got locked up at the end. So just a lot of positive stuff on him on Tuesday.
Speaking of guys who hit the ball out of the ballpark, now 3 straight games with a homer for Bear Harrison. What does he provide at the bottom of the lineup?
You'd be amazed by how I like coming on here because I learned something new. Yeah, these stats are good.
I'll tell you some stats about Bear Harrison and how he compares to Daniel Jackson in conference play. 1 fewer home run, 3 fewer RBIs, and 29 fewer at-bats. I'm of the mindset that Bear Harrison, both offensively and defensively, should be an all-conference catcher.
Yeah, I think all my guys, all 9 of them, play should. But yeah, 3 straight with a homer. I mean, I think Bear, like, early on showed his ability to, it was like, oh, Bear's batting average sucks. Well, he's on base.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get on base and you swing at good pitches, the game will reward you because that's how the game's played. He's done that consistently, and he's not getting hit as much, but he's hitting the ball over the fence. So we'll trade. We want that OPS to be high, on base and slugging. Like I think he's doing really well in that category and doing really well behind the plate. So and his home runs, if you look at Bears' home runs, like they come off like some guy, like some real pitchers, right? Like he hits them in moments when we need him. He did it that night. He did it the other day. I mean, that one he hit at Florida in the top of the 8th or top of the 9th?
Yeah.
The 9th, wasn't it?
It was 9th.
9th. Like that. Yeah, that was huge. Huge. Give us an extra run. So Bears done a great job. And again, just another super hard worker.
Your bullpen from afar, it felt like the depth was being tested, but it feels like now from afar that it's being expanded because more guys are stepping into that role and having more success. How do you see the bullpen?
Yeah, I think they've been doing their job. I think we had the luxury of what is helping us clearly is that Fresh Corn and Lions can really bounce back. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can do that. It also helps us they're pitching well. Like Gavin Lyons has really his role has changed our team, and you could see that since the second time he threw at Vanderbilt. And he expects the ball, he wants the ball, and we want to give it to him when he's supposed to get it. I think Grant Cunningham has done a really nice job. Like we put him in a game when we were down. I think he gave up 1 run, but he kept it where it's supposed to be. He's another guy that pitches better when he pitches. And I think Ethan Darden is really, Texas, I think he gave up the 1 homer, but since then he's pitched really, he pitched well in that game. He just, Carson Tenney's got a ton of pop, but I think they've done a really good job, and we just need them to stay consistent because they're not walking guys, and they're limiting damage, for the most part. And if you look at our scores of the games and when they've come in over the last week or two, they've done their job. Like, what more can you ask? I know they had some issues in the past, and we just want them to keep going with what they've been doing.
I was going to ask you about Darden specifically because we got to see him on Tuesday night. Really important performance from him out of the bullpen. But he's been good on the weekends as well. So in your estimation, what you've seen behind the scenes, what has allowed him to come on of late?
Yeah, I think he saw it early, right? And then maybe just putting in work. Like he puts in a ton of work. And sometimes as a reliever, it's hard to get in work because you're pitching, right? It's not like hitting. Like you cannot get on the mound and pitch every day. I think they do it a little more now than people used to, but I think he stayed consistent with it, made the adjustments JK's had him make. It's just those adjustments in practice for a reliever, a guy that pitches a lot, they're just real brief because you have to be able to pitch in the game. So he's just done a good job of staying the course, and he's locating, he's throwing strikes better, right? He's getting them where they need to be. He's able to front hip that sinker on right-handed hitters. You'll kind of see him. They think it's coming at him, then he draws it back, and then he's getting the slider where it's supposed to be. But I think Darden just competes in the end. Like he wants the ball, and he's not afraid. And when he throws a bad pitch, he just tries to make the next one.
It's our weekly Apple Weather app update, at least when it comes to a home series. What are some of the scenarios that you've seen for this weekend?
I think you could see a late game on Friday. I think you could see a doubleheader on one of the weekend days. I know we got the event at Kyle Field on Saturday night. I'm not sure how that affects things. I don't know. I mean, we're going to play 3 games.
Yeah.
I know that. So that's a positive, right? We don't want to miss a game like we did before. When, and I know where, but when, I'm not exactly sure.
Just got to be patient.
Yeah.
When it comes to the team you're going to be playing 3 games against, Auburn, what challenges do they present both offensively and on the mound?
Yeah, I really like their team. I'm a huge fan of their program and their coaches, just all of them, just, good dudes, right? I think they do. Their pitching staff statistically is the best in the conference. The stuff that I think is important from an offensive standpoint, similar to us last year, they had some freshmen that really, to us this year, they had some freshmen last year that played really well. Those guys are sophomores. They got some guys with experience. Just a really, really fundamental, just really good baseball team. Like, if you make mistakes, they'll beat you, especially on the mound. Like, they throw a ton of strikes. They don't walk you. They limit damage. So what's that mean for an A&M team that when you walk us and allow us to do damage, we're going to beat you? That's what they don't do. And so this weekend's going to be about us offensively finding different ways to win, like hitting low line drives, getting on base any way possible. If there's a chance to score a runner from third, scoring him. If we can get a bunt down, we're going to get a bunt down, especially if the weather dictates some things. It's just going to be what it is, and we'll adjust to that. From the pitching standpoint, we got to continue to do what we've done. We have to limit free passes, limit damage, and make plays on defense. And in the end, whoever does that the best will win. Because I truly believe, and I think with this team that's coming in and us, like, it's not one is more talented than the other. And I think for us, as long as we can play consistent baseball, I always like us playing at Bluebell Park in front of our crowd.
Isn't that basically the identity of your team this year, though, finding different ways to win? There hasn't been one formula for you all.
Yeah. No, I mean, and there can't be. And you gotta kind of figure that out as you play, right? It's not like you can just say it, like, hey, we want to have different ways to win. Okay, what does that mean, right? Well, you just work on different things, and you're not one-dimensional, and you take a base when you can take a base, or it's just like the other night, like Boston Counter, he didn't get the bunt down. He should have. But you know what? We gave it to him again. He got it down. He's attempted 3 on the year. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When it's called upon, it's got to be done. It's just like you go back to Blake Bender up at Missouri. Huge play. The guy gets a bunt down. You go back to Caden Sorrell against Texas, who everyone wants to hit a home run. You don't come to the game to watch Caden Sorrell ground out to second base and score the runner from third, do you?
Nope.
But he did that. So it's like what the moment calls for, you got to execute, not try to do too much. And I feel like for the most part, we've done fairly well at that this season.
Coach Earley, thank you very much for your time,
guys.
sir. Good luck this weekend. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back more with Richard on the other side. If you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Richard just told me I'm breathing loud. Appreciate that, Richard. Thanks.
Yeah, I know you're self-conscious about those things.
No, I don't really care. I mean, I'm
allergies. They're getting everybody.
No, they've gotten me really bad this week. This is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we're continuing our baseball dialogue with Richard. I feel like some of the things, first off, once I hear something.
He geeked out during the break with Coach Earley. They started talking about motivational podcasts that they're sharing with each other and Hulk Hogan documentaries. I was a fly on the wall. It was awesome. That's the show that the people don't get to hear or see.
Yeah, the fact that I went from what he said to Hulk Hogan was really, I jumped a shark. There was no reason. We were talking about doing, because he said it on the show, doing uncommon things uncommonly well, right? And he listened to a podcast that kind of broke it down. It was Eli Manning talking about doing everything the right way with David Cutcliffe in the offseason. So we talked about that. And I think it became part of their mantra this year, right? Like, we're going to make sure that everything we do on the diamond, we do it better than everybody else. We're going to have a certain formula. We're going to hold the ball the right way. We're going to throw it the right way. We're going to step on the bag the right way. Everything with fundamentals done at an elite level, and then we just went down the rabbit hole.
Doing the common things uncommonly well. They have said that over and over and over, and it kind of started back in the fall when guys would come through here for Texas Aggies United interviews, and to their credit, they have lived that credo, and they are seeing the results on the field and in the win column.
Yeah, they're seeing it, and the other thing that I took away from the talk with him was when I asked about the bullpen, because you live the baseball brand every day, right? And when I'm watching this team, it felt like for a while that they just didn't have a lot of options. And I feel like those, because of injuries, but it feels like those options in the bullpen seem, A, you trust it more, and B, I feel like more options are developing.
Yeah, so I still think they're pretty thin. I think thin and a lack of depth is the correct descriptor for this Texas A&M bullpen. But the guys who you do have back there, the guys who you do trust, Clayton Freshcorn first and foremost, 10 saves, he's moving up the leaderboard. The program record's 14. He could get there, especially if A&M's in some close ball games down the stretch and then into the postseason. Then Gavin Lyons, he can tackle multiple innings, multiple games on a weekend. That's so impressive. And then you've seen the rise of Ethan Darden. You got to see that a little bit on Tuesday, but he's also been really good on the weekend. And then Grant Cunningham didn't have a great outing against Tarleton, but he's been pretty good for the most part this season. That's 4 guys that I trust pretty well coming out of the bullpen. And that is a better spot than you were a few weeks ago. After the first game against Vanderbilt, for sure. You feel a lot more You feel more confident and comfortable with those guys coming out of the bullpen. I would like to see 1 or 2 more names emerge, right? I would love to see that. You didn't have the opportunity to see that on Tuesday against Tarleton because of the way the game played out, right? Winning on Tuesdays, winning on midweeks, as Ethan told us post-game, is important. The good teams win those games. And when the game is there to be had, you fire your best bullets to get it done. That's what they did. I liked that move from Early. However, Tuesday, you have one midweek game left this week against Prairie View. I want to see more from Billings. I want to see more from Vaughn. I want to see more from Powell. I want to see more from Vincent. Because if 1 or 2 of those guys can emerge and be confident and comfortable coming into games, whether it be on the weekend or in the postseason, then I feel so much better about this bullpen and the relief pitching.
So so from those names, who's a likely candidate could emerge with what's left at being somebody we can count on in the weekend?
Well, Hunter Vincent's been the one that's been challenged the most, so maybe that makes him the most likely to impact weekends. But I still think Luke Billings probably has the best stuff. You just haven't seen him very much. You've only seen him twice all year out on the mound. One of it was a midweek, and the one on the weekend was late against Florida. He didn't fare very well in Gainesville. But he's still got the talent. He's got the stuff. So to answer that question, not a good answer, but I don't know.
Yeah.
These are unproven guys that are going to have to likely remain unproven and perform in big spots at some point in May and June.
When he was talking about Gavin, I don't know if I felt sad or excited because there's a part of me is like we were robbed of what sophomore year Gavin Grahovic could look like and what that season could have looked like. But then I also marvel at the return that he's had this year, A, because this is after a major injury, and all the things he talked about, especially watching the game and having a different perspective last year. So I kind of juggle with the thoughts of what it could have been, and maybe this is exactly what he needed for this point in his career.
It's been a remarkable don't know if turnaround's the right word, because in the first half of the year, he wasn't driving the ball out of the ballpark, but he was still hitting
like 340
in that range. And then he gets his hand stepped on that Friday night in Columbia, Missouri. And then from there, he goes on a tear. It's now 12 home runs in, I believe, 17 games. He's hit safely at all 17. It wasn't a radioactive spider bite, but maybe it was a radioactive cleat stepping, whatever, I don't know, because he's playing superhuman right now. And you need that from Gavin Grohovac. You need your stars to be your stars, and he certainly is right now. And also, I want to give a shout out to Billy Lucci. Thank you for watching.
He's watching.
Me. That's awesome.
Yeah. Kind words or joke words?
No, he told me to shut up.
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate that, Billy. Hey, Billy, how are you, sir? We'll see you tomorrow on the show. Left field designated hitter this weekend. Some of the options that you think we might see.
So there's essentially 3 guys for 2 spots, right? Terrence Keel II, Jake Dewar, and then Wesley Jordan, who had a pretty good account of himself on Tuesday against Tarleton with a hit and a walk. And Coach Earley has told us, off air that he's looked really good in these Wednesday practice sessions, and he's swinging the bat really well. So they still trust Wesley Jordan, even though you haven't seen him in a lot of game action recently. And you haven't seen him in a lot of game action because the 9 that have been in there have been pretty solid. However, Terrence Keel II, his average in conference, I believe, is 160-ish. He's still getting on base at a decent clip, around 430 in conference play. I like keeping him in left field because Bronny's nemesis returns this weekend. The ballpark's going to play bigger with a north wind, which means you might want to trade a little bit of offense for better defense. Terrence Keel in left, Caden Sorrell in center, and Jorian Wilson in right field is by far your best outfield alignment. And that's not to disparage Jake Dewar, who has played pretty solidly out there when given the opportunity, albeit a poor read early in the game against Tarleton. But I still like TK, Sorrell, and Wilson out there. So I would keep things status quo. But the fact that there's a decision or a question at this point in the year is a credit to Wesley Jordan for staying hot and staying ready, and also credit to Jorian Wilson for being a stud every single time he goes out there.
A lot more of this tomorrow on the program when we do the baseball bunch. Richard, thank you very much, buddy.
Of course, and thanks to Billy for watching.
Hey, I'll tell you at the break. We might have a guest on the baseball bunch.
Cool.
We might. We'll talk about it. Brad's Running Company, located at Century Square, locally Aggie-owned, operated running store with an outstanding selection of all the running shoes you want. If you're looking at Brooks or Honor, Hoka, or anything, let them take care of you there at the Brad's Running Company, where they'll find the right shoe, because we all know the right shoe makes all the difference when it comes to your long-term fitness goals. And at the Brad's Running Company, they're passionate about running and finding that right shoe for you. They also have Vuori clothing there. They've got Duck Camp. They got Turtle Box speakers. They got Stanley Cups, you name it, they have it all. It is the Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station, the Brazos Running Company. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it.
All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, Dad, you look pretty good today. From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family.
Oh, hey, I didn't realize you guys were listening to me or watching me type. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. It is now time for our weekly conversation with our dear friend. His name is Aaron Torres, and we call this Around College Athletics, brought to you by Milliken Reserve. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by AT. Aaron, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. You know, I think a lot of our listeners think that our relationship is like that song that you just played. If I give love, am I going to get any in return? I mean, that's how people think Nuño and Torres are, even though we're good. We always tell the audience, you know, when we bicker on air, it comes from a place of love and respect, not hate. But, yeah, I heard that song, and I was like, oh, I think that's how half the audience thinks that we actually interact when we're off air. So.
Well, no. In fact, we have a lot of friendly conversations off air. We go back and forth on industry things and just live. AT, what do you like this selecting your bowl appearance or your playoff game that is going to be happening here this upcoming year for the 1 seed and the 2 seed?
Yeah, I saw that. You know, listen, I think that teams that have great regular seasons and, you know, we'll see what the future of the conference championship game is. But, you know, listen, whoever is going to get the 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds, whatever it may be, they're going to be doing something right during, you know, from mid-August until mid-December, whether they're, you know, undefeated with a conference championship, whether they're undefeated and there's no conference championship. So I think you reward them. And I think this goes back to all of the conversations we had when we decided to expand the playoff is essentially, how do you reward teams for having a great regular season so that this doesn't just become a postseason sport? Unfortunately, and I love college basketball, but a lot like college basketball, where it feels like once you get into that bracket, there's no real tangible award for being, you know, 30-4 in the SEC regular season and tournament champions, or being 26-8 and, you know, finishing 5th in the league. So Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I think it's smart and generally just in favor of anything that does reward teams that have a successful regular season. And I would add, lastly, too, I think it becomes especially interesting given that the teams that have gotten the byes in that first round haven't necessarily had success in that second game. So we'll see what happens, but I thought that was an interesting little addendum yesterday.
Talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live. AT, the Brendan Sorsby situation with Texas Tech. Many different ways we can go with it. We could do a whole 3-hour talk show on this topic, but just your thoughts on, I guess, multiple directions. The tip of the iceberg, as Paul Feinbaum called it, probably other players have done something similar. Will that get out? And what it means for Texas Tech, what it means for Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, I think the Sorsby angle is the most interesting one. I think we always overreact and assume the worst. When you're talking about thousands of bets, I don't think there are, 40 guys in the A&M locker room that have made, thousands of bets. And I'm just using A&M. It could be Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, whatever. I don't think it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of what he was doing. You always want to be sensitive to addiction and different forms of addiction because I do think this was, from what I could tell, and I'm not an addiction expert, we always like to give those caveats, this looked like classic addiction. What I would also say, David, and you know this, is that these athletes are so well trained on, not even just the what happens if you gamble too much, but the consequences that will come with it outside of the monetary things. And so I think a lot of things can be true. I think he does have an issue. I don't know that he'd be getting help if he didn't get caught. I don't know if it's affected his personal, professional life. I'll leave that up to him. But I also think the rules are pretty clear, is that every one of these players knows you cannot bet on your team in games that your team has played. It doesn't feel like a very big gray area to me. And everybody knows the consequences. And so if this is it for him in college football, I think it certainly changes the Texas Tech narrative. Now, I do think having Will Hammond come back from injury probably helps things. But, yeah, I mean, it stinks. I think realistically he probably just cost himself maybe the biggest payday the rest of his life. But I would also continue to add that these players are educated on this. They know the responsibility. And if you do want to gamble, unless I've misread something, you can do it on baseball. You can do it on the NFL. You can do it on college basketball. You just can't do it on college football, specifically in games you play in or participate in or your team participates in. And because of it, it's just hard for me to have too much sympathy if he is, in fact, done it at Texas Tech.
Yeah, well, I mean, what does it mean for Texas Tech, in your opinion?
Well, the good news is, and this might be just a byproduct of this NIL era that we live in where a team like Texas Tech can retain a backup quarterback. But, Will Hammond got significant snaps for them last year when Baron Morton was out with injury. And so it's not like they don't have a quarterback on the roster who has played meaningful snaps. Now, clearly, if they thought he was good enough, they wouldn't have gone to get Brendan Sorsby. So, listen, I'd be lying if I said I've done the deep dive on every single Big 12 roster, and I have my power rankings ready to go today on April 30th. But I think the counter to it is, I think it changes the ceiling of that program. I thought it was interesting, even just watching the NFL draft, we know how much they geared up last year in the portal, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, and seeing the number of guys that ended up getting drafted. It doesn't feel like they went quite as hard across the board this year and really focused their concentration in the portal on getting the right quarterback. And so, I think I'd be lying if I said it doesn't change the ceiling of that program, because I think we all expect, hey, the defense probably isn't going to be top 5 nationally in every single category that matters. But the counter to it is the offense will be better with a more dynamic quarterback. So fill in the blanks, you take out that dynamic quarterback, it probably changes the trajectory of the team. Listen, we know about the Big 12. I still think they're probably good enough to win it. But like I said, I'd have to do some more roster deep dive stuff before I definitively say that on April 29th.
Hey, AT, let's talk a little bit about this SEC championship game. I know Kirby Smart's talked about it a few times, even recently. He says he loves the game, but he could find a way to support removing the game as these college football playoffs do expand. Do you care about the SEC championship game the way you did maybe 6 years ago? Does it still have for you the same place? it is a money grab, right? It is a great opportunity for these programs to make some money, but it is an extra game.
Yeah, so, way that you frame that question, do I care about it as much? I think it's interesting. I think this year I cared about as little as I could because there was no consequence to it. And listen, college sports that we know and we love are changing so fast. And there are so many things that we're losing that we love. But I think we also have to accept that this is the world that we live in. And I've said for 2 years, I don't understand really why we're still playing those games. And, one, I do think this past year, it was kind of funny because, people kind of tried to make a push. I don't know if you remember, David, but the day of the conference championship game, we all understood Alabama's going to be in the field no matter what. Then they lost, and then it kind of became this discourse that people tried to push for 24 hours. But here's the thing is, I think both sides of the coin on it are true, is I don't think you should be punished for having to play an extra game, just like I don't think A&M or Ole Miss should have been punished if they ended up in that game instead of Alabama. But then I also do think if there's no consequence to that game at all, what is the point of playing it? And I think it does become a conversation of, if it's this extra game that you have to play. Listen, I know all these coaches are saying, oh, it still matters. And, listen, we're not too far down the road from somebody just saying, I'm not playing any of my good players because we got bigger fish to fry. And so do I hate that we so quickly got to this point? Yes. But I will also, listen, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too hard, but, nobody loves doing it more than I do. I remember saying this before we even got to a 12-team playoff. I'm like, well, we're going to get to a very early situation where we're going to have to decide, do we punish teams for making a conference championship game or do they not matter? And then if they don't matter, what's the point in playing them? And so I think it's an especially interesting conversation coming from Kirby Smart, who, of course, the last 2 years has won that thing. And even he acknowledges maybe it's not the best time, resources, best for my players and their bodies, whatever. So we'll see what happens. I would hope that if we do get rid of conference championship games, it doesn't mean mass expansion of the playoff. I understand that it probably does mean we would get to maybe 16 teams. I do hope it doesn't mean we go to 24 or 36 or God knows what Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, wants. But yeah, I'm accepting of eliminating conference championship games for that exact reason.
Well, I'm glad you said all that because I should have asked you earlier about the 78-team NCAA tournament that we're about to get. And also, beyond that, I think we are going to get a 24-team playoff at some point, Aaron, when it comes to the college football playoffs. And maybe we'll get to 32. I just feel like that's what's coming.
Well, I thought it was interesting. So, a lot of this is so my stance on all this, Nuño, I'm pretty much, I'm of the belief that once something is out of my control, it gets annoying for my audience to keep complaining about it, right? So 4 years ago, I was telling people, hey, we don't put a cap on these transfers, it's going to get crazy out there. And, eventually people were just like, I'm tired of hearing the same rant, so I kind of just stopped with it. And so that's where I am with expansion of the NCAA tournament. It's stupid. I'll say this, too, about the tournament, NCAA tournament. What's interesting to me is I think when we went from 4 to 12 in college football, I would say it was like a 90-10 issue. In other words, 90% of people were in favor of it. I would say less than 10% were really adamantly against expanding the playoff. And I think even more expansion is probably, a 75-25 issue. I think people would be in favor. The reason I bring it up, I would say it's a 5-95 issue on expanding the NCAA tournament. Nobody wants it. The thing I say, Nuño, all the time, who wants the tournament expanded the least is the teams who are actually on the bubble. There wasn't an Auburn fan on Selection Sunday that was pounding the table saying, we deserve to get in, put us in. Most Auburn fans, just like whoever else was on the bubble, wanted the season to be over. And so nobody wants it. I think what is interesting specifically about the NCAA tournament, I saw Matt Norlander from CBS say this, is he basically acknowledged, and he reports on all this stuff. I find most of it kind of boring and bureaucratic, but he said his sources at the NCAA basically acknowledge it is a money grab, and essentially the NCAA is broke from all of these lawsuits that they constantly have to deal with. And so it sucks, right? But it's another piece of what we love about college sports being sold off for money. I don't think it makes the tournament better. I think in many ways it disengages people in the tournament because now you're trying to fill out that bracket. And, how many games are we going to have to wait for before we can fill out that bracket? So I could go on and on, Nuño. I don't like it. Nobody in Indianapolis cares about my opinion. So I've said my piece. And when guys like you ask me about it, I will absolutely continue. I'll continue to share my thoughts. But I am also at the point where I've been, I've said my piece. Nobody wants to hear my piece beyond what I'm talking about, and so because of it, I've kind of just stopped whining and complaining about it.
AT, appreciate you, brother. Have a great weekend.
All right, buddy. We'll talk next week. Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Ross coming to town again this week or what? I don't know what's going on in baseball. So
baseball, we got Auburn, a top 10 showdown here at Bluebell.
Ooh, I know they're good this year. Well, enjoy. I'll be in a bit. Give me 2 more weeks on baseball. I'll catch up. Don't worry.
I know you will. You always do, especially with Aggie baseball. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Talk next week.
See ya. AT on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back and we'll just, I don't know. I got something I'm going to bring up, okay? Thanks for, you're just not listening today. You're just in a zone. You're senioritis today, Cooper.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I asked him a full question earlier, and it was like 3-minute dialogue. It's like, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do that. And then I go, Cooper? And he's like, huh? You're talking to me? This 3.5 minutes. No jokes, okay? No 3.5-minute jokes, Nick.
He's too busy scrolling on the burner verse or something over there.
Hold on.
No, I actually gave him a project to do. Did you finish that project?
You didn't say it.
Huh?
You didn't. The project.
I gave you the project.
Yeah, you didn't. Never mind.
This is the worst segment he's ever
He's
had.
an hour away from
lost.
being done with us forever, so he's just like, check out City.
Senioritis Cooper. Like, I spoke so highly of you. I take it all back. And then when I do my heritage film on you, I'll tell the story of a young guy who never spoke and was scared to do work at TexAgs. And then all of a sudden he got super cocky and started saying, I've got the hot sports takes and LeBron James this and LeBron James that. And then he starts doing Papa Shot. And then the fall from grace where he stopped listening to the show that he was broadcasting on. That would be the heritage film for Cooper Patterson, at least through the first, 21, 22 years of your life? How old?
22.
Thank you for not really listening. 22 years. But you can have a heritage film done for anything in your life. We can do a Nick Savage story. We can do an Olin Buchanan story. We can do a Billy Lucci story. We can do your grandfather's story, and Chance McClain can do it. The website is yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. Call them up, 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Hey, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Garner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. So something came up on the chat. This is from Dave and Edmond. Nuño, is there a place on your team for Johnny Football? Sometimes the greatest players and talent don't need to do everything the same way all the time, don't need all the motivational stuff. Would Johnny Football have ever gotten on the field under Coach Nuño? Stupid question. Okay? Like, if you haven't heard me talk before, yes, I am very formulaic for myself because I am below average at everything. But talent trumps it all, right? Like, if at practice, you're scoring touchdown. Now, would I have some problems with missing practice and some of the other stuff? Of course I would have a problem with it. But if you're an SEC football coach, you're supposed to win games, right? And yes, I would like for everyone to be a choir boy. Yes, like Cooper Patterson. Well, he used to be. Now he's very cocky. But yes, of course Johnny Football would be on my team. Of course he would. Cam Newton would be on my team. Jameis would. Like, when we're talking about generational talent, just don't be OJ. You know, like, trying to think who else is out there. Nick, don't be Aaron Hernandez. I just spit on myself. That's great. Aaron Hernandez, don't be a killer. Right? Like, if you go to a couple parties and wear a Scooby outfit, like, I did it too. In fact, I have a picture from a Beta Theta Pi Aggie Cowboys fraternity mixer with whatever, and I was wearing a Barney Rubble costume. All right? And I have it. And I even painted my hair. I dyed my hair for it. All right? So, yes. And I pick myself every time. I'm a Nuño picker. So, yes, Johnny Manziel, Dave and Edmond. Sometimes, Dave, you make the show about you, and I would not pick you. But you know I love you. When we come back, we'll talk to Brian Massey. And we will also have, let's see, it's a fan show, guys. We got them. That and more is TexAgs Live. And we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Brian Massey's here in studio, an Aggie alumni whose 10-year-old son Mark was diagnosed with a terminal brain cancer called DMG in January of 2024. He passed away 2 weeks before his 11th birthday. Brian and his wife Allie have turned their grief into action. And this Thursday, they're helping launch the Mark Massey Legacy Foundation and the debut of the Strikeout DMG campaign, a mission to turn out every strikeout into a catalyst for a cure on pediatric brain cancer. With that, Mr. Massey, welcome to the studio. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So just take me back to January of 2024, and let's kind of set the story from there, and we'll kind of work our way through where we are now. And obviously, hopefully, a lot of people are going to help support and be a part of it this weekend. But just take me back to January 24.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mark was our 10-year-old son, perfectly healthy. Never had any issues. And New Year's Day, right after it turned to midnight, Mark came into our room and started complaining that he had a headache, and we thought that it was anxiety about going back to school, or just didn't know. It was kind of weird for him to have that, but. As the days went on, his headache never really went away. He was sleeping a lot, and so we took him to the pediatrician. They ordered an MRI. They called us. It was a Sunday afternoon, and told us that Mark, that they had found a tumor, and we needed to get to the hospital, to Texas Children's, right away. So we took Mark down there, and Mark was diagnosed, pretty immediately with diffuse midline glioma. So it was an awful time, really scary time, not knowing what all that meant. But from the time we went to the hospital till the time we actually got his diagnosis, it was a couple weeks, because I had to do all the pathology and all of that.
I have to imagine that was excruciating, just waiting and not knowing, especially waiting for results.
It was. We had a lot of hope that it would be something that was. That they were able to operate on, or treat in some way, and it didn't turn out that way.
Tell us about him. What kind of young man? The things he was into, his personality. I want to learn everything I can.
How long's your segment?
As long as you want. This is for you.
Oh, Mark was just an amazing kid. He was hilarious. He was kind to others. He was a typical 10-year-old boy in so many ways. He was into Fortnite and building his Legos and hanging out with his friends. But, above all else, he was a really, really gentle soul. He was an old soul, caring kid, really awesome, amazing kid. I was lucky to be his dad.
How did he handle everything?
With a quiet strength, I would say. Mark internalized a lot. One of the most remarkable things was that, as a 10-year-old kid, Mark never complained to us. He never said it wasn't fair. Probably the closest thing he did come to saying that was, when he said that he just wanted to be a normal kid again.
Mm-hmm. So help us understand DMG, what doctors were telling you then, and why it's such a devastating disease.
Sure. So DMG, diffuse midline glioma, it's in a part of the brain that's inoperable. They can't operate on it without, it's in the part of the brain that controls speech and motor function and vision, everything. And so they can't operate on it. It is a terminal brain cancer. It's 100% mortality rate. Average survival time, from the time of diagnosis is anywhere between 6 months and 2 years. But most patients, they are between that 9 to 12 month window.
I was reading on the website that brain cancer is now the leading cause of cancer death in children, yet it only gets 4% of federal funding.
Yeah.
And I guess this is a big reason that this is so important to you. You want to make a difference, and you even made a promise to him.
That's right. Yeah. There's such a huge gap between, the need and the funding. And with this specific type of cancer, most of the funding for research comes from, private organizations like ours. And so, we had an interview with somebody yesterday, and, I don't know that there was ever a aha moment that Allie, my wife, Mark's mom, that we looked at each other and said, we are going to start a foundation I think we just kind of inherently knew that, there was a gap and we needed to do something to make a difference.
Talk to us about the partnership with Coach Earley and Aggie baseball, how that came together.
Yeah, so Coach Earley's son Marshall and Mark were in the same fourth grade class, and Mark was in fourth grade when he was diagnosed right after or during Christmas break. And they became fast friends. They were buddies, and from the start of right after we found out about Mark's diagnosis, the Earleys were fantastic. This was in early 2024. Lisa, if you haven't had it, you've got to try her lasagna.
Yeah.
But they would bring us dinner. They would towards the latter part of the year. Mark was in a spot where he couldn't leave the house, and consequently, Allie couldn't really leave the house, and so Lisa, Coach Earley's wife, she would bring over Starbucks for Mark, frappuccinos and a coffee for Allie, and just their support personally has just meant a lot to us. And then with Coach Earley's platform as the coach of the baseball team, I mean they've been just phenomenal in helping us spread awareness and doing whatever they can to help.
He's very passionate about it too. I mean, he's brought it up so many different times. Just talk a little bit about that connection too, because this is something that's very dear to his heart.
Yeah, I mean, from the onset, Mark wasn't into sports, like a lot of kids are into sports, but he loved baseball. He loved to play baseball. He played Little League in College Station, and the baseball team, when they heard of Mark's diagnosis, they were super supportive. They sent signed bats and jerseys and balls, but probably the neatest thing for Mark was that they wore these wristbands that we had made. To this day, Coach Earley wears his. But seeing that on TV throughout 2024 really helped Mark. When the team went to Omaha in 2024 and made it to the championship series, Mark was sick, but we knew we had to be there. Mm-hmm. And so, with the Earley's help, they were able to help get us tickets in the handicap section. And bless her heart, Allie put both of our boys in a car and made the drive to Omaha. And I met up with them, on Saturday and watched that series unfold. But I mean, just so supportive in every way.
So talk to us about Strikeout DMG. Yeah. What does a strikeout represent in this context?
So the event on May 1st, on Friday, hopefully, it'll happen at some point this weekend. But we're going to have out on the plaza, we're going to have a tent set up. We'll be handing out bubbles, branded bubbles, baseball cards with some statistics about DMG. Inside the stadium, one of the really, really neat things is that A&M, the team, and Auburn are going to take batting practice in these shirts. Obviously we got blue and orange ones for Auburn. And then they're going to come together for a unity photo, just showing their solidarity in the fight against this, which is super cool. There'll be some other events throughout the stadium, and the concessions are going to donate a percentage to us as well. So it's really, really, really neat, all-inclusive event.
I think that shows also just like this community that sports brings, and the baseball community specifically, that Auburn wants to be a part of it, and they're going to be a part of the whole process.
Absolutely. It's the support that we've gotten, from everybody from the start. I mean, we couldn't do this without it, and so, having the early support, having, Auburn agree to do this, it shows that it's bigger than baseball.
How can people help join the fight and help join Mark's Army?
Yeah, so I mean, first thing is, go to Mark Massey Legacy and follow us on Instagram. Give us go to our website, register to receive updates. Buy a shirt. We're selling these shirts that are $20. Every dollar goes to research.
What is this weekend going to mean for you all? Just after this journey that you've been through, and the trials and tribulations, and obviously all these people are going to hopefully be honoring Mark and his legacy.
I mean, it means the world. We just to see, to know that Mark his legacy is remembered. He's being carried on. in this way is incredible. It's probably going to be emotional. They're going to show a video during, in between the innings. I'm not exactly sure when, but they're going to be showing a video talking about Mark and about what we're trying to do. And but all in all, we're really, really excited to, the goal is that everybody who comes into that stadium this weekend leaves knowing about DMG and about Mark.
Well, I never had the opportunity to meet Mark, but I feel like I know him after today and all the things I've read about him. And I'm glad to learn about DMG. And if this show can ever help you out in the future, we're always here for you. And we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in.
And thank you so much for having me.
Right, appreciate you. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a fan show here on TexAgs Live. Welcome back into the program. This is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And at the current moment, we're going to call this a fan on a show.
Yeah.
Because Roy May will be here momentarily.
We're a little early today, which is fun. We've got a little game we're supposed to play.
Yeah, well, Cooper Patterson, he's Matt Browning, by the way.
Oh,
Hello,
hey,
Matt.
welcome.
And I guess fan show. Cooper, sorry. Fan show. Cooper Patterson's got this idea to start off the early version of the fan show, and your idea is what again?
It's a game. Shout out to the Burnerverse. Shrink or expand.
Shrink or expand.
Y'all heard of
Shrinkage.
this game?
There's a Seinfeld episode about this.
So I'm gonna name.
You watched Seinfeld, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
know the
name
episode,
different-
right?
Hey, shrinkage.
Do you know the episode?
No, I didn't watch Seinfeld.
No.
Well, hey, then no soup for you.
Yeah, permanent shrinkage.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm gonna name different sports leagues or college football, college baseball, NBA, and we're going to discuss whether we should shrink the playoffs or expand the playoffs, like the number of teams in them.
All right. I like it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna start with college football. Hot topic.
So I'm weird about this because I already feel like the regular season is meaningless. Right. I'm not necessarily for expanding, but I think it's inevitable that it's expanding. And I think the right number based on being at 12 is 16, even though I don't necessarily like 16. I'm giving you a Billy Lucci answer. I'm answering every type of thing with this. But I'm in favor of expanding it to 16 or going back to 8.
Yeah.
Well, we never had 8, but going to 8.
So I think that I like I like it where it's at. Do I have to pick one or the other? Do I have to do shrinkage or expansion? I think
I
think for the sake of the game, you should pick which one you'd like more.
All right, so I'd rather go to 16 than go back. All right, I mean 16 though is the absolute max, and the only reason I say is because, and I think it needs to be relooked at too. But to do it where you have Notre Dame being left out, right, and allowing the other two in was mind-boggling. The two group of 5 teams was mind-boggling to me. I mean, I hate to say
but that was the rule heading into the season.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, it's just if the idea is to get the 12 best teams in, then Texas and Notre Dame should have been in over the 2 group of 5s. And you know that I hate Texas, so for me to say that's a big deal. But so if that's the case, then yeah, let's expand to 16. You could have gotten some way better matchups in the first round. Oregon versus Texas and Notre Dame versus who was the other? What was the other group of 5 team? Who did they play?
Tulane and James Madison are the 2.
Yeah, but they played. It was Oregon played one of them. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss played
Tech.
JMU.
I can't remember. One of those
Texas
teams.
Tech. No, Texas Tech was the top 4 seed.
Yeah. Okay, so Ole Miss played one of those teams. I mean, can you imagine Texas
Ole Miss played
versus
Tulane.
Oregon or Notre Dame versus Ole Miss? I mean, that would have been a much better. I mean, that would have been must-watch TV. So, expand to 16 before we shrink.
Now, Roy, do you understand the game?
Yes, I was listening to it on the way in. And by the way, I'm still a minute early. Your first segment really short. I was like, oh no.
No, it was what we were planning. So you were saying?
Shrink or expand NBA playoffs. They run long, 2 months.
Yeah.
Eliminate playoffs in general, just vote on a national champion?
No, what they need to eliminate is that in-season tournament thing. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where, you go make them 5 games early, instead of all of them being 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see this a lot with basketball. Hockey does it. Baseball does it. The travel days and all these games we're playing, it just draws it out so far. So maybe you turn first round games into a 5-game series.
I think
that's what it used to be.
Yeah. Well, I would take it a step further, and I would shrink it to where you go like you do in MLB. MLB has what? You got basically 6 teams total on each side, and you've got a play-in game on those. So the playoffs are much shorter. I mean, you think about it, we're only in the first round, and I mean, there's been so many games.
NBA 32.
30.
30 teams in the
16
NBA.
teams make the playoffs, so over half the league makes the playoffs.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, so
Over
I
half
could
the
see
league.
shrinking the bracket as well.
Shrink it. So shrink for the NBA.
Top 4 seeds on each.
Yeah.
Well,
Instead of
16 teams make the playoffs, but there's the play-in that are basically
Yeah.
part of the playoffs.
10
and I think that's the
teams
problem.
Make the postseason in the NBA.
I like the way it used to be in the NBA. And again, old guy, 1 through 8, or 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. Like that's how it should be. None of this. If you're under 500 and you're the 9 seed, you get in. That's stupid to me. Keep it the way it used to be. What else?
College basketball. We just saw the expansion of the NCAA tournament. Do we think we should shrink that or keep it going?
I'd say just leave it exactly the way it is. It's beautiful.
Well, it's exactly changing, though.
What are they doing to it?
Is it 76 they're going
78?
78 teams?
Well, okay, now that's dumb. All right, just leave it as it was. It was a beautiful
Instead of
thing.
the first 4, it's 76. Instead of the first 4, it's first 12.
So for me, it's go back to 64 teams, no more play-ins.
I like that better.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it was beautiful. I mean, the tournament's the one of the most fun. I mean, and it can be done, and they've proven it for decades now that it's a winning. It was a winning formula, and it works. So yeah, why would touch?
It's probably the greatest postseason product because legitimately it draws in people that do not care about regular season basketball.
Oh, and you can watch every single game, and you don't even I don't know these two teams. I can watch that game and then be enthralled by it.
It's fun to pick your bracket, like all that. It draws so many people in, and I think what's funny, and again, a lot of this you hit on coverage. Just how much more we can consume at this point in history. And I think the Stanley Cup playoffs has started to become that a little bit, to where people that don't watch hockey are starting to understand that the Stanley Cup playoffs is the most exciting hockey on the planet. Like the postseason is exciting, and you can see the marketing for it as well, pushing it. But yeah, the college bracket for me is go back to 64 flat.
Well, here's a couple notes. So it went to 64 teams in 1985. So there was a time that it was below. It was 48 teams from 1980 to 84 with a brief 53-team format in 1984.
Well, and that's one of those like nostalgia things. So, I wasn't watching the tournament at 3 years old, and if I was, there was probably one game on, basically if you could catch it. So I grew up always with it being 64. I didn't like when they added the play-in games, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to fix something that wasn't broken there, for sure.
But I'm going to be very honest. I feel like I've said this on this show in the last 2 weeks a lot. I like whatever helps A&M out. So there might have been a year where I've been like the year that I thought they should have made the tournament with Buzz's team, that 2022.
The NIT teams, yeah.
Yeah, that team I would have liked, the 76, right? But, but I love the NIT experience too, which I didn't think I was going to love it, but they went all the way to New York, which was kind of cool to see them do that. Auburn, by the way, just did that. So to me, I'm for sale when it comes to success for A&M. Taking a step back from that, for the love of the game, for what I think is best, this constant expansion stuff, like you're going to have a playoffs inside of the playoffs because everybody's making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, you keep expanding stuff and you're running out of off season.
Yeah, and you're not, and there's no way they're going to shrink anything. Like we say, expand or shrink, but none of this is going to shrink. I mean, they might try this and go back to 60, but this would be the only thing. They're not going to shrink the NBA playoffs. They're not going to ever shrink the college football playoffs. None of these things are going to shrink. So, all right, what's the next one?
So he said the entire premise of your game is stupid. That's basically what he just told you.
That's okay. College baseball.
College baseball is great.
Perfect. Leave it.
I agree with
don't touch it.
Don't shrink it. Don't expand it.
I'm not going to make y'all pick. I love the way college baseball
it's perfect.
runs.
It is.
Is there any more?
MLB.
Perfect.
I like that.
Shrink it.
NFL.
You can't shrink it anymore. There's already the smallest playoff of all of them.
Back in the day, it was just 4 teams.
Yeah, 4 teams got in. So
American League versus National League.
I love it. Don't mess with it. And then NFL. I don't like
NFL's fine.
I don't like that you only have one bye now, though. I mean, I like the way it traditionally. Again, we're old, so we're traditionalists, right? We don't like.
They're old. They're traditionalists.
We don't like new things. Oh yeah.
And then you already talked about NHL. I think that one runs really well.
Stanley Cup playoffs it's perfect the way it is. Honestly, it's such a great tournament.
I hate to ask this, but I'm going to at least ask it. What about soccer?
The MLS? I don't even know what they do.
I have no idea what MLS does.
Okay. I mean, what's the league y'all follow?
But the soccer has it perfect because they have their own thing and they have the Champions League.
And they have a joint thing. You'll have a handful of leagues. You have Europa Conference League, you have Champions League, and then you have the FA Cup within the English football. Like
you would hate it.
It's completely like this. So this is the one thing where like the in-season tournament, like the FA, right?
It works.
I don't like it in the NBA, but it totally works in Premier League.
Well, the reason it doesn't work in the NBA is they're not playing anybody else.
Right.
If the in-season tournament was playing against the Spanish league and the English league, and I'm talking about for basketball, right? That would make that in-season tournament matter way more. But you're playing the exact same team you just played Thursday.
But would any of those Spanish teams in English leagues like have any shot to win a game?
Because I think international basketball has changed.
Yeah,
they are much better than they used to be.
And I think in the Olympics that matters. In like the NBA is still by far the greatest talent aggregate.
Well, wouldn't you like to see the MLS have an opportunity in the Champions League? They'd probably get destroyed in every match.
I mean, I wouldn't care. Me and Browning agree. I wouldn't watch it.
You're not allowed to watch Messi in a couple weeks.
That's literally like apples to a Dodge truck. Like that's what you're comparing at this point.
All right, hey Roy, what's on your mind?
Are you the host now?
Yeah.
How do you? I
had to get off soccer. I had to get.
It was your topic.
I had to get this. I know. I had to get this train back on the tracks here.
You're the one that derailed it.
I did. It was my fault. I told you before.
We're not going to do that now.
Doing this.
Roy, what's on your mind?
Thank you, David. I tell you, I mean, it's what's on everybody's mind. Like, what an absolutely huge weekend this weekend on the Diamond. Really unfortunate result last weekend for softball. Just kind of crapped the bed a little bit, quite frankly. But you want to talk about having the opportunity to respond. You get number one team in the country. And then obviously, with Auburn playing well and all of a sudden, they're in the top 10 as well. It's a huge series for baseball. The momentum is there for baseball. We've seen it, right? I mean, it just feels like this train's kind of just keeps rolling down the tracks kind of thing. It's been great to see how the bats have lifted up the pitching and how we have found ways to produce offensively without just relying on the long ball, because that's fine. Like chicks dig the long ball, right? Like everybody loves seeing homers, but to be able to produce run, and you see it on the base running, Bear Harrison going first to third a handful of times. You see what Cliff Pennington has brought to this offense on top of what Michael Earley obviously already brings to the offensive-minded side of the ball. And the pitching, it just feels like it's been lifted up. We're figuring it out. Softball just kind of caught a flat tire over the weekend, and so they've got it. I'd like to see them get back on track. It's just like the tallest task on the planet to ask of them this weekend. But it's an exciting weekend on the Diamonds, absolutely.
By the way,
and yet again, rain.
One of the greatest commercial series of all time was the Chicks Love the Long Ball, right? Remember Maddox and Smoltz going to working out because they're watching? Oh, that was one of the best. That's something you need to go and look up on YouTube. Is those commercials?
Old ESPN commercials.
They were phenomenal.
I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, they were phenomenal.
A lot of ESPN commercials.
A lot of the old ones, yeah.
But that one?
Maybe not that one.
Okay, so why would you have said that?
It was Maddox and Glavin.
It was Smoltz and Glavin and Maddox, and they were watching McGuire hit, and all the girls were watching. They're like, "Chicks love the
best
long ball."
pitching staff of our lifetime."
Oh,
yes,
without a doubt.
Probably the best pitching staff that will ever.
Probably ever. Yeah. I mean, 1 through 3, those are the best ever.
I can't imagine anything close to that.
I mean, that's why they won. How many pennants did they win in a row?
All of them.
12.
Like all of them. Yeah, they were fantastic. So,
and back when Turner Sports still existed, so no matter where you lived in the country, you could watch the Braves.
Yeah, you knew the Braves. So
knew the Braves and the Cubs.
Same deal. Baseball. I mean, Roy called it. Got to give him credit. Roy called the win again. Is
that 3 weeks in a row?
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. He's nailed it.
The most impressive still is golf, though, because that's one out of a field of.
That one was pretty good, but I mean, he was defending champion. But either way, to go
I predicted it too.
To go to Florida, look, I think going into it, we knew we were probably the better team overall, but. Still, to go into Florida, who again is a blue blood in college baseball, and to win that series, especially after coming out and kind of laying an egg in the first game, but just to come out and just get hot in those second 2 games was just outstanding.
I think it's hard to say lay an egg against that pitcher.
Yeah, I mean he was really good, but I mean we did not win. So and then this Tarleton, what a scrappy little team they were. They were.
Did you see D1 Baseball has them going to A&M for the regional?
Oh boy, that's scary. They were
with UTSA.
They were scrappy
in our bracket
with Wake Forest.
Oh, that's the last prediction I saw had Army coming. I was kind of excited.
Well, Tarleton was a scrappy little team, but to have a little comeback, kind of wake them back up, get them. They seem sloppy. It just seems sloppy early in that game. Hey, it's a midweek game. We're not in the middle of an SEC series. This is a small school coming in, and then they come out and get hot, and then you got to respond, and they did. And so that was fun to watch. And so baseball's been a big one, but how about recruiting right now? Wow,
heater.
I mean,
absolutely
just unreal. Elko and Cushing are just killing it right now, and so that's really fun. I mean, looking at this recruiting class and some of the names, not only the names on this list that we already have in the boat.
There's some in the pipeline.
Some that are close to jumping in the boat that seem like they are absolute game changers.
That's a lot of stars up there.
All right.
That's a lot of stars.
Let's hit a break here. Cooper, nice job on expansion versus shrinkage. That was interesting. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, We're going to talk some football. We'll talk some more baseball. We got some softball to get into. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, then check out the Association of Former Students that brings Aggies of all ages together during their awesome events that they're held throughout the year, such as Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, the gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities available to get your brand in front of those attendees. And they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. This includes title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, activation, and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner that's been with the organization supporting the Aggie Network for the last 140 plus years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. That is sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. Great music in the background. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Fan Show guys are here. Roy and Matt. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question that Nick asked us at the top of the show. Okay?
Premier League, right?
No, not about Premier League. No, we're going La Liga.
Nice.
And which of the players will take the biggest step onto the spotlight in 2026? I'm going to add one that wasn't on this list, but we can add others. Marco Jones, Ruben Owens, Ashton Bethel-Roman. I'm adding Jamarian Morrow. I'm sure there's others we can add, by all means. Who is the football player that you think is going to be one of these household names, maybe for Aggies or maybe nationally?
Well, see, the name you added is the one I was going to say.
Morrow.
I think we have enough of a sample size that we saw to know that kid is really special. So I think his ceiling is just through the roof, man. So yeah, if I had to pick out of that list, I'd probably say him, just because, you know, when you have that kind of elusiveness, I mean, you're watching the clip right now, like he's tough too. Like he bounces off people. He doesn't, you know, he can absorb some contact. He's quick. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, so he's versatile.
He's bigger than that. So I've had him in studio twice over the last couple of weeks, and he's lost a little bit of weight since the beginning of spring camp, he told me, but he's around 205. But he's a stronger, leaner version of that.
I watched that interview. Just talking about he's just leaned up a little bit.
Yep.
I think he's just got again, like I said, I think he's got a massive ceiling relative to his talent and you know his skills, and that's the kind of agility and quickness, and not to mention straight line speed. You know, does he return punts and kicks at some point?
Right.
He's a weapon.
He's somewhat, not identical, but I get it. But he somewhat reminds me of Devon Achane.
I thought you were going to go there.
So I mean, just because his receiving ability, all this stuff. So I mean, he does. So I'm just piggybacking off what Roy said. I would agree that he probably would be one of the names. I mean, Ruben Owens is already fairly well established, especially in Aggie circles. So I mean, I think he's a dependable every down back.
But he could still take a step. Though.
He could take a step. I mean, the guy in high school was one of the best high school running backs of all time, apparently. So, but if I were to pick somebody, I'm gonna say Ashton Bethel-Roman, just because what he was able to do, being the third guy. Really, the third. I mean, and actually for a lot of the season, he was the fourth guy. If you put him behind Bussy, I mean, to go behind KC, Mario Craver, Bussy, and then Bethel-Roman, I think he started the season as the fourth guy and then stepped up to the third man role. But now he's coming in. I don't know if he's not the number one guy going into the season. I really don't. I mean, he's the fastest guy on the team. He's got. I mean, his ability to catch passes, get open. It's just been really good watching him.
I'm going to slightly disagree because Mario Craver still plays on this team, and I think Mario Craver is pretty damn good.
I agree.
And Isaiah Horton is pretty damn good.
See, that was another name I was going to say. Like, could it be Isaiah Horton? I mean, but you know, going back to
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying though is there's a lot of options.
I'm taking. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm taking a leap here, and I'm saying that. Not only do I think he's going to be I think he's going to be our go-to number one receiver by the end of the season. That's what I'm saying. I think he's that good. I mean, I get Isaiah Horton's really good, and he's coming in to a team, and we know what Mario Craver can do. But I genuinely think that he's going to be our number one receiver.
Rod Sports Take by Matt Browning, mattbrowning.com.
Yeah. On April 30th of April.
I don't think you're wrong from that's what his, if you want to call it a ceiling is. I just think when you have that many dudes at that position, and we're not even talking about Aaron Gregory, who I think is going to be that dude at some point too, and Madden Williams, and we've got some. So it's a great thing to argue. But I just think there's Mario Craver's their one guy.
Here's the best part, right? I can make what might seem to be an outrageous claim in April because no one's going to remember this come football season.
No, I will. I'm going to write it down.
I will 1,000%.
I mean,
but I kind of hope you're right because if ABR gets to that. And you have Mario Craver. And you have what I think in Isaiah Horton's going to be what we needed last year. Now we're talking about an embarrassment of riches. And if, I'm going to keep going ifs, by the way, Marcel takes that step and cuts down on his turnovers. And if one more, because I'm doing a lot, I'm luchifying it. The offensive line comes together. A lot of ifs. But I would love for that to come true because now you have 3 number one options. Vamos.
And then from a talent standpoint and a physicality standpoint, I mean, Terry Bussey might be the best athlete on the team.
Yeah.
And so if that guy can somehow figure out how to be a little bit better receiver then I mean the sky's the limit. I mean, who do you double team? I mean, someone's going to be open in that offense, and so one of these guys is going to be open, and so you got. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches at that position.
I want to go back to one of the names you have on the list and look at this kind of from a little different light, because what we're talking about is really kind of like a breakthrough, right? Reuben Owens is a known commodity. Like everybody knows Reuben Owens. People outside of Texas A&M know who Reuben Owens is. What if he takes that next step?
That's what was my. And he's the lead back this year. He was the lead back last year.
But he knows going in, like, this is his job, right? Like, it's his job to lose.
If Reuben Owens doesn't fall in the Texas game, I think that game could look different, but he fell a lot, right? Yeah. That's a big if. If Reuben Owens can get you those tough yards that Le'Veon would get this team early on. Now we're talking about and his numbers are good. Do you have a graphic with Reuben Owens' numbers? His numbers, he ran for 639 yards last year. Like,
as not the full-time starter.
Yeah.
The second half of the season for sure. But like, so you look at that.
Carries.
I think he's got another level to go to. Absolutely. And you got Morrow, and you've got a bunch of other dudes, like these freshmen. Tiger Ryden, another guy who can get you those tough yards. Yeah. So that's the thing. I'm going to bring up another name that maybe could become a household name. Mm-hmm. So Marco Jones, I think, will. I don't know if it's this year or next, but I think Marco Jones has got the highest ceiling.
Yeah.
But I'll say Antosaka, who, let's just play for a moment. He has, I'm going to say, a similar trajectory to what Cassius Howell had, just because this dude led the Big Ten in sacks last year at Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
And the last guy who did that, Nick Scorton, came here, didn't do as well here from getting after the quarterback, but it was very productive, obviously a high round pick, right?
Right.
So if Antosaka does what he did in the Big Ten here, saying he's going to be one of those names.
Oh yeah, he could be. He you know, you watch his tape, and he jumps off. He looks like Nick Scorton did, you know, when Nick Scorton was at Purdue. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he could be. That could be a really, really big. I mean, we've got to have somebody get after the quarterback, right? Especially, and I go back to the year before when you lose Nick Scorton and Shamar Turner and Shamar Stewart all on the same defensive line, and then you turn around last year and the defensive line was, I mean, arguably better, right? I mean, with Cassius Howell, Albert Regis, and these guys coming in, I mean, it was arguably better. And then now we've got to retool that defensive line again. I mean, who knows? I mean, Elko is proven. I mean, remember, even in his D coordinator days when he had DeMarvian.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
you need some coffee or something?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm just throwing out names, man.
He's got sports takes. Should we
try unplugging Browning and replugging him back in?
Control, Alt, Delete, reset.
So, but I mean, those defensive lines were amazing. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to go, okay, who on this D line is going to be
that guy?
That guy, and you never know. I mean,
here's another one. DePowell says, "Don't sleep on Noah." I assume he's talking about Noah McKell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Noah McKell, obviously, big spring game. We've seen his growth. He's going to be asked to do more as we figure out the Damian Stanford situation. Another name to consider.
Yeah.
I mean, could it be Ray Coney?
Yeah. No. I mean, there's a lot of newcomers and a lot of guys that I mean, there were guys that didn't get any playing time last year that we don't know about yet and that are going to come in and be game changers. I mean, every team has that.
I'm still hitching my wagon tomorrow.
Jamari Moore. All right, we'll hit a break. Probably do more football. Probably doing more baseball. Probably do some more shrinkage talk. All that and more right now. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're a business owner ready to take your business to the next level, Caldwell Country Chevrolet has expanded their selection of commercial vehicles to meet your everyday need. They've got service body trucks. They've got heavy-duty flatbeds. They've got medium-duty trucks, and they can handle those tough jobs. And they are also got the muscle to help you with your business demands with their newly designated Business Elite dealership. They understand what it takes to keep your company moving forward, and they want to make sure that you know that they are there for you. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Fratella Italian Cafe. If anyone knows anything about Italian food, it's me, Billy Lucci. And Fratella has the best Italian food in BCS. Located at 3901 South Texas Avenue, Fratella is known for their handmade pasta dishes and feature lasagna, beef cannelloni, chicken parmesan, chicken fettuccine alfredo, a couple of my favorites, just a big old bowl of plain old spaghetti and some manicotti. Really recommend the manicotti. That's my go-to. And don't walk out of there without trying the fresh, piping hot breadsticks and the homemade in-house cheesecake, which is incredible. It's great for dining in, catering, gift cards, and even shipping, which they do nationwide. Fratella's is Aggie-owned and operated, and it's an official restaurant partner of Texas A&M Athletics. I'll see you there.
Howdy, Ags. This is Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed, and you're listening to TexAgs Live on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Remember when people would compare Diego Pavia to Johnny Football?
Well, one of them got drafted.
Well, yeah, look, Diego may have a much longer, better career than Johnny had in the NFL, but I actually was surprised that I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Mock drafts and his size, and I think a little bit of his arrogance kind of appeared at the Heisman.
I think if you throw it all in the bowl all together, that's where you find the answer.
But were you surprised that he didn't get drafted?
No, not at all.
No, because like you just said, I mean, it's a size thing. And not that Vanderbilt was a bad team. They're playing in the SEC, and they were successful.
They went 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, they were successful. I think it's a combination of size, applicability to what is the NFL quarterback model. Right, like we all kind of know what a quarterback looks like in the NFL, and how tall they are, and what their pocket presence. And it's not Lamar Jackson is obviously an insane talent, but this is not a league where your quarterback runs. Right, the NFL is just not that. Yeah. So I think if you combine all that, and then like you said, a little bit of the arrogance. We weren't sitting in those interviews. He might have been just as arrogant in that interview as he was as we came across in public. And if that's the case, like those interviews can make or break you. They want to know what kind of person you are.
I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but I'm going to. I also think that.
I think you like to say it.
I think that Johnny became a bit of a cautionary tale to some of these NFL teams to say.
It's possible.
I mean, so I don't know if Johnny did a kid like Diego Pavia any favors by the way he, similar playing style, although Johnny was 1,000 times better than Diego Pavia was, but also that same kind of attitude and everything else. But again, we don't know. We know now in hindsight Johnny's work ethic, and he's been very honest about it. You got to get one thing. You got to give Johnny credit on. Johnny has always owned up to most of his stuff. I mean, he's been a guy that goes, look, I've made tons of mistakes. I messed up. I did this. Again, I'm not saying that Diego Pavia has the similar work ethic that Johnny has claimed now. But at the same time, it's very possible
So-
that he could be a cautionary tale.
Someone on the YouTube chat asked if Johnny Manziel could have ever played for my team because I'm such a disciplined kind of first guy. And,
Yes, I like winning.
yeah, and that's kind of my point. Like, now I don't want Ray Caruth on my team, right? Like, I don't want. There's like obviously. But if we're talking about guys that excelled on Saturdays, that
I heard you talking about it, like
you guys don't be OJ,
still be OJ, like,
right? Like don't kill people.
You're gone forever.
Now,
Aaron
doesn't mean
Hernandez.
I'm going to be okay with some of the decisions you make, but I also recognize in college there is some of that. I don't want my kids to do that, right? I hope the boys next year when they get to A&M are not doing that kind of stuff. But So are you a good teammate? And I think and some of it is on the coaching. Sorry, like the coaches have got to get the most out of their players. You've got to be a practice. You're a starting quarterback. You represent us. Like there's a lot that goes, but you have absolutely just put the film on, bro, as John Harris would say. Yes, Johnny Manziel would play for any of my teams.
Oh, Johnny! I mean, just watching these clips of him, he was just so fun to watch. He was the most fun, by far the most fun football player I've ever seen. And,
2012, the most fun I've ever had watching Aggie football.
It was just every week it was something else. You're just like, wow, this is so much fun to watch. And I'm forever grateful that he was an Aggie.
Yep.
And again, like I said, Johnny's had his issues, off the field issues, but when he was on the field, that dude gave his all. He gave 110% every time, and he was just so dadgum fun to watch. And
he played football like it was a video game.
Yeah, it was just. Just watching these clips is just so fun to see him.
I'm trying to honestly, the most fun I've had watching Aggie football.
Yeah,
correlates with winning, obviously, right? Like 98 was an amazing season to follow. 12, even 13 for me was fun. I thought 13 was
the
great.
The 90s were a ton of fun.
Yeah.
They were, because if you look back, not just as a season, but like just for so many years with Jackie and even RC, like
the Bucky years were.
Bucky years were just
they're the best.
So great.
Freaking the running backs, like
linebacker is the
but from beginning to end, the Johnny season was my favorite. Now this past season is up there, but I hope that season moves down the list because that's just the beginning of what we get moving forward.
Agreed. I think so too. But there was never a game that guy played in that he didn't do something that where we all just went, wow. Every single game he did something. I don't remember a single ho-hum game where he just kind of went out and every single time he touched the football, something magical could happen.
Let me make this other comment about what I just said too, because I think 2012 stands out because it was amazing, but it felt like a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
And the one-off makes these seasons more special. What I'm hoping is that there's not one-offs. There's sustained success where they're like, I don't know. This year was great. This year was great.
Yeah.
This year was great.
Yeah. I just said it. I would love to, at some point to be like, man, remember the decade of 2020s? Man, this A&M football just went on a heater. And that was the 90s.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a Bama fan and just go back? Hey, what was your favorite Bama team? I don't know. They had such sustained success.
They want to fire a coach that won a playoff game, and that went. What did they go 10-2 and got into the playoffs and won a playoff game? So I guess they won at 11-3. Well, they lost to the SEC 11-4. They won 11-4.
They had such sustained success for so long that and so many great players and all that. I'd love to ask a Bama fan, which is your favorite? Who's your favorite player of that generation? We can go back and go. 2012 was our favorite. Johnny was our favorite.
Well,
right?
hopefully, this 2026 A&M baseball team becomes our favorite A&M baseball team of all time.
I love that.
Let's hope, right? Because I love the coach.
Yeah.
I love the personalities. I love the resilience of this team. Hopefully, this team goes further than we saw in 24 because that was a great year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until
I think what's funny is
we got 8 seconds.
Oh, it's just funny.
It's funny. It's very funny. You know what's funny? The TexAgs rewind. Maybe Roy will tell us what he was thinking then.
I will.
See you next time.